guys. I want to give a shout out to all you guys coming up in the space. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and retweet this out. And Professor pretty much said it. We're going to cover 3 topics tonight. We're going to cover the backlash that Miss Janet Jackson received about Kamala Harris. We're going to talk about Mark Robinson and his chances of being governor. And we also speak about Michael Eric Dyson as well, too, and the Nancy Mace situation that they got going on. She's claiming that she's playing a little role or whatever. Like Professor say, he does simp quite a bit, but then she's playing this babe in the woods type character as well, too. Oh, the big Negro. The big Negro made a pass at me. So, yeah, we're going to cover all of this tonight. What's up with everybody? From the people coming in on YouTube, guys, make sure y'all share out the broadcast tonight. Go ahead and share the broadcast out. And same for my people over here on X/Twitter. Go ahead and share it out. Let me go ahead and get it in. I see Rilla got a new profile picture. Okay, Rilla got Janet on there too. Everybody got the Janet profile pictures now. So let me go ahead and start that off. Let me go ahead and start off with Miss Jackson. I'm gonna touch up on the other ones as well too. Y'all know how it is. Feel free whenever you want to speak. Just go ahead and raise your hand. I see we got 2 speakers up here in the speaker section, Stephen and Park. So when you guys want to speak, just go ahead and raise your hand. Stay on mute until we get to you. But we will definitely get you up here, and we want to hear what you guys got to say as well too. So let me go ahead and touch up on this article from Atlanta Black Star, curated on the Newstoter.com platform. Shout out to Atlanta Black Star. Y'all make sure y'all visit Atlanta Black Star. It's a great site in terms of news and entertainment as well, too. And make sure you visit newstoter.com to stay up to date on breaking black news. The title, Her Father's White. That's what I was told. Janet Jackson issues a statement after her outrageous Kamala Harris comments sparked fury from fans in a recent interview, prompting her first European tour since 2011. Janet Jackson made controversial comments about U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris that sent fans reeling. Now she's apologizing for the misunderstanding. Janet Jackson has been living in Great Britain for the past 8 years, close to her ex-husband, billionaire Wasim, whatever, with whom she co-parents her 7-year-old son. Her distance from the United States, however, appears to have left her somewhat disconnected from American politics. During a conversation with The Guardian, Jackson echoed a familiar Republican talking point, incorrectly claiming that Harris is not black and has a white father. Well, you know what they supposedly said? She's not black. That's what I heard. That she's Indian, Jackson remarked. The interviewer, who was of Indian descent, quickly corrected her, saying, well, she's both. Undeterred, Jackson responded, her father's white. That's what I was told. I mean, I haven't watched the news in a few days. I was told that they discovered her father was white. Contrary to Jackson's claims, Harris' father is not white. Donald Harris is a Jamaican-born, retired Stanford University economist, is black with some mixed ancestry stemming from the Caribbean's history of slavery and colonization, as reported by the Irish Times. One of his ancestors and her four-time great-grandfather, Hamilton Brown, was an Irish slave owner. When corrected, Jackson responded, I don't know. Honestly, I don't want to answer that because I really truthfully don't know. I think either way it goes, it's going to be mayhem, referring to the aftermath of the high-stakes election. Jackson's remark sparked widespread criticism on X, formerly known as Twitter, with many fans expressing disappointment. The Rhythm Nation singer, known for her activism against racism, found herself trending with users blasting her for spreading misinformation. One X user said, we have to have an internal family meeting. Another added, she's so loudly, proudly uninformed. What a disgrace. A third commented, I missed a time before social media when we never knew how truly stupid celebrities were. One more fan tweeted, Janet Jackson, why? The Jackson backlash extended even further, with one person suggesting that her late brother, Michael Jackson, would be disappointed by her comments. How embarrassing. Some believe that her brother, Randy Jackson, may be influencing her views. Randy, who was 4 years older and her partner at Rhythm Nation Records, is an outspoken Trump supporter. In 2020, he tweeted, my friend sent me this, and I thought it was so important to watch. I was voting for Biden, but this changed my mind to Trump. Randy's own daughter, who starred in Nickelodeon's Zoe 11, what her name is, Stevana Jackson, allegedly criticized her father's political views on Instagram stories, saying, "You've always been on the wrong side of history as a father, as an uncle, as a brother, as a husband, as a friend." She continued that the saddest thing about you, not even your legacy, will remember you kindly. In 2020, Randy Jackson supported Trump's campaign. He is still very close to Janet. They live and work together in London. Look at what Randy's own daughter, Savannah Jackson, had to say about her father when he supported Trump. Jackson's family timeline, a longtime Jackson family fan who captured the story 4 years ago, noted that his disappointment with the Pleasure Principles singer's statement, "I just wish Janet wouldn't do no more interviews if it's to repeat Randy's MAGA nonsense." Following thousands of tweets about Jackson's statement on Harris, the singer has finally responded. A statement was given to BuzzFeed via her manager. Okay, I think we got us a troll up in here. Okay, Park Avenue, you need to mute your mic or we're going to have to drop you.
I apologize.
Okay, don't let it happen again. But following thousands of tweets about Jackson's statement on Harris, the singer has finally responded. A statement was given to BuzzFeed. She deeply respects Vice President Kamala Harris and her accomplishments as Black and Indian woman. Janet apologized for any confusion caused and acknowledges the importance of accurate representation in public discourse. The statement concluded with, "We appreciate the opportunity to address this and will remain committed to promoting unity." All right. Okay, so for all our speakers tonight, guys, stay on your microphone. We will get to you. Raise your hand. We will go ahead and get to you in the order of your hands. So please, we ask all our speakers to stay on their microphone. Raise your hand. We'll get to you. I promise you, we'll get to you. Okay, that's what we had to say about it. Shout out to EHZ for their contribution on Cash App. Now, Park Avenue, you got your hand up. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you, and again, sorry about that distraction. But I just want to start off by
Hey, Park Avenue, you're pretty low. Are you on a headset? Do you have an ear?
I'm on my AirPods.
Yeah, you have to take them out because you're pretty low.
Okay, give me one moment.
But everybody has your earbuds in tonight, guys. Please take them out. It's hard to hear you, and it's very hard for our people. We're streaming this on YouTube. It's very hard for the listeners on YouTube to hear you guys, especially if you have in your earbuds. So please, if you plan on speaking tonight, definitely go ahead and take them out. Shout out, I see DJ's up here as well right now. So shout out to DJ. And we're going to cover all the topics tonight. I just want to go ahead and lead off with this because this is what everybody's talking about. But we're going to talk about Michael Eric Dyson, Mark Robinson as well. We're going to have a nice space where we're going to be pinpointing all these topics, and feel free to go back and forth as well, too. Go ahead, Park, excuse me. You got it?
I'm hoping you can hear me better now.
Yeah, I can hear you a little better.
Perfect. I just want to start off by stating some facts here, because I think in order to have this discussion, we, of course, got to stick to the facts. Vice President Harris's mom is Indian. Your dad is Jamaican. I'm sure everybody here knows how anybody of Black or African descent got to Jamaica, right? We all know the slave trade dropped off people in multiple areas in the Americas, from North America to South America, Jamaica being one of them. All right, great. We also know the very complex history of Jamaicans in Jamaica, right? We know that there were several other people who were brought there. We know that the lineage and ancestry of many Jamaicans cross over various different areas of the world, continents, cultures, ethnicities, you name it. So should be no surprise, as there should be no surprise to anyone who's Black in the United States of America that can have some type of European lineage. My next point I want to make, though, is just talking about this whole conversation among Vice President Harris's race. There are so many things going on in the world, and I think that for Black Americans to be so obsessed with this question and about her race, I think is an extreme disservice to us as a people, and it's an extreme disservice to the future of Black America. We have to have conversations about education funding. We have to have conversations about economic opportunities. We have to have conversations about housing. We have to have conversations about employment. We have to have conversations about making sure that all Black Americans have the same opportunity as everybody else in this country. And the last thing we need to be talking about that will get us any closer to equality and justice and everything else that we so deserve is about what race Kamala Harris is. Now, if you want to talk about, oh, you know what, when she ran in whatever office in the early 2000s, okay, you know what, go to an article, I seen it today, I read it in 2003 when she first won her DA election. In the article in 2003 is that she was the first African American to win the election. My point on this whole issue is that this is a huge distraction from the issues. And quite frankly, I have to be honest, I think that people who are continuing, not the journalists, right, but the people on Twitter who are probably paid and probably not even Black, but the people who are just continuing to put fire on this issue, I mean, it just comes from such a lowly, uneducated point of view. I'm sorry. I mean, I just don't understand it. You know, I think that there's no other group of people who are debating about whether they're voting for someone because they're 50% is Black or what. I mean, it's just ridiculous. That's my take on it. Let's talk about policy and not what skin color you think somebody is, or not whether or not you think that somebody is Black enough. This reminds me of 2008. I was watching some historical videos of it, and they asked President Obama in a very early Democratic primary debate back before he even was the nominee, are you Black enough? I mean, it's the same type of things. It's nothing but a distraction. Let's talk about the issues that will put money in people's pockets, food on people's tables, and to make sure that everybody has a fair chance at education and economic opportunity. This whole conversation about what race she is a complete distraction. And it's very sad to see us doing this. Not the journalists, but the people who are voting.
All right. Thank you, Park. I'm sure there are going to be some people that respond to it. Let me go ahead and get to we got Rella, we got Black Pressure, we got DJ, we got Professor. But go ahead, Rella. You got it.
Hey, Newstoter.
Hey, what's up, Rella?
What's up, Rella? Shout out to everybody in the space. Except for the gentleman that just spoke, because apparently he said he doesn't understand it, and so I think if you don't understand it, just as you said, just the journalists. I think journalists are voters too. Last I checked, if you were an American citizen and you're in this country and you're a journalist, I believe you have the right to vote. Journalism is not a separate situation. The other thing is, Hindu Jamaicans exist. Jamaica is a nation state, is not a race. I do believe people from other nation states use their nation name to identify themselves when they get to America. And on top of that, by the time I want to say Kamala was born in Oakland, her parents were already moving around. So she lived in several different places. And also she has the cultural background of, as she says, South Asian. So just because her father has the one-drop rule of, I believe his mother is mixed race African. And so with that being said, just because he has that mixed race indigeneity does not mean that somehow Kamala shares that same cultural practice, because she never mentions it. She only talks about the cultural practices that her mother raised her and her sister, and they were South Asian. They were the Brahmin Indian culture, and she talks a lot about it. Her grandfather on her mother's side, which that picture that everybody sees floating around here with it's her, I believe the grandfather, and I want to say, I don't know if that's her mom in the picture, but her grandfather, the attire he has on is a particular cast of groups of people who practice almost would be akin to like what white Aryan brotherhoods practice. They had a cultural a cultural practice that's very, very anti-Black American or anti-Black period. So when Barack Obama was questioned by neo-Nazis, was he Black? No one was asking him, was he Black? I believe people knew that his background was a mixed race heritage. And the problem I have is that, the problem I have is that literally we get the blunt end of the stick, and people get to come into the United States and tell Black Americans, why are you focused on race? Why are you worried about culture and ethnicity? That's so ignorant and beneath us. It's dividing us. I'm sorry. What other nation do you go into saying that? Would you go to Jamaica and tell them, don't worry about your race and your heritage and your nationality? It's divisive. People only do that to Black Americans. And it's very, very sadistic, sociopathic almost, to tell Black Americans that we have to somehow ignore nationality, race, ethnicity, haplogroups, and also tribal treaties and things that actually defined our groups that have been lost to us for many, many years. And people have been trying to wake up their family genealogy, wake up their family lineage for the sake of restitution and reparations. And you hear people saying, I don't understand it. We understand it well because we are kin and native to the group of this land. Our generations go back further than 54 years of being in this country. So if I'm a 12th generation granddaughter, I'm over 100 and something years in my genealogy. That's more than 54 years of experience. And I hear that all the time. And people say, well, immigrants, they go through stuff too. Yes, of course. Because as you are coming into a nation that is plagued with people who have practiced genocide, and you continue those practices by way of erasure and telling the people of the land that they need to stop talking about things that exclude you. That is by far the most disparaging and harmful thing that I could ever hear. It is very erasure and genocidal. It is a form of actual practices of white supremacy, and people try to reverse psychologically tell Black people, no, you're practicing the same thing that white supremacy does. By doing what? Acknowledging our ability to be on this land, our ability to talk about who our parents were, what soul culture is, the things that Black Americans created, the influences that come from our group. No, it makes you uncomfortable because you no longer can now somehow see yourself in our identity. But you want us to go a roundabout way to see ourselves in your identity because we share melanin. No, that is the worst relationship ever. And Black Americans who are descendants of this country are deading that. We're not doing that anymore. Charlemagne the God gave Janet Jackson Donkey of the Day. And I don't know what it is with people who practice this genocidal nature to want to call us akatas and akin us to animals. It is the most barbaric thing to witness while people turn around and say, I don't understand. So if you don't understand, why don't you let people who are from the land explain it to you and give it to you? Because we would have to do the same thing if we were in someone else's nation or if we were on someone else's land. I couldn't tell them who they are. The other thing is, what was it? Michael Eric Dyson.
Yeah, I haven't actually touched up on that yet, but
Lord, Michael Eric Dyson. I'm just a little bit because I know you're gonna go into it. Regardless of a Black man's ability to want to talk to, date, or be in proximity of other races of women, it is very, it is again a genocide to see white women utilize their influence to want to demonize the black man's image yet again, as if black men are the boogeyman that are coming to harm them, and that they need someone to come rescue them, almost to the point where it reminds me of what happened to Emmett Till when Carol Bryant said he whistled at me. For her to take a text message and take it into an assembly hearing and add it as evidence to a committee hearing, that is not only genocidal, that is to me sadistic, and proves why black women have always been at an alarm rate, understanding that there are women who do seek to just take black men down for the sake of capture type, they are my property type situation. That's how I ken that. And it's very scary, because what if Michael Eric Dyson went out on a date with her, even if he is married, right? We're speaking hypothetical, and she decided to set him up, or someone decided to take his life. Then we would sit here and be like, oh, what happened to him? Because the caution is never on their end. It's never on their end. And Mark Robinson, if he's playing the game of I'm going to play Uncle Ruckus so I can get into office as the first black man down in North Carolina, he's playing that game very, very well, and it's so convincing. I'm like, this is crazy, and no. But if he's really, really on that type of time, and he's talking about he wants to be the black, what did he say, the Black Klansman and all that other stuff, you can have all that. We don't need you. We don't need you. And the people down there in North Carolina definitely don't need you, because you ain't no good going to come out of that. So we're always caught in a rock in a hard place, either with the coons or with the people who decide that they want to tell us that we have no right to define what Black American is in America, and then try to equate it to global diaspora talking points. We're talking about America. If you're talking about the diaspora, wouldn't you have a specific talking point for Black Americans in America? And if you don't, why bring up the diaspora talking points? Because that means we're no longer included, or never were included. And I'll end there.
All right. Thank you, Rella. Let me go ahead and get to Black Pressure. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Can I get a chance to actually respond?
No, you have to wait for a second part, because we got other hands up. We'll get to you. Black Pressure, you there? Okay, Black Pressure might not be there because he's not responding. So let me move on from Black Pressure, and let me go ahead and get to Black Intelligence. Black Intelligence, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's going on, Newstoter? Shout out to the space, shout out to the co-host. And my opinion is going to be, my opinion, and I honestly believe that this is a waste of time. White people aren't sitting here saying that Barron Trump isn't a foundational white American. They aren't talking about this dumb stuff. They're talking about policy. And I'm going to address the Janet Jackson situation, because it was very disheartening to witness what happened, what went on, because Janet Jackson is a cultural icon. No one can take that away from her. But on the flip side, I don't have to agree with the lie. I don't have to stand, and I don't have to say that that's standing on Black American business. I'm not going to do that. And let's be clear, if Kamala Harris grew up in the Jim Crow South, she would not have been drinking out of a white water fountain. Kamala Harris lived in an apartment in Compton, and she's been very clear that her godmother was a Black woman. And so while her mother was at work taking care of her and her sister, there was a black woman that was actually raising her who had a daycare. And so when people are saying that she just had a South Indian experience, that's not real, because where's the large South Indian community in Compton? Let's just be real. It's not there. So let's be realistic. People get on this app and say celebrities aren't our leaders, but when it comes to actually standing on business about that, they don't, because they're so enamored by this person's status. And I know Janet Jackson and her family has a very close relationship with Donald Trump. Michael Jackson and Donald Trump's children played together, or apparently, but that's not a reason to get out here and say you thought that somebody's dad was white, when Google is literally free. And he's not Indian and Irish, because Indian Irish mixed people like Vance's children don't have afros. So people, let's not be blind either and ignorant. And so when you have Candace Owens co-signing this, along with people on here saying we need to unite with the KKK to deport Haitians, and you have bomb threats happening at schools with Black American children there, and then parents are having to sit home and say, this crazy bull crap on the internet is why you got to sit at home and you not get your education. And we're going to co-sign this? This is despicable. People need to wake up, touch grass. And I'm doing this in the most respectful way, because I care about the Black community. I'm in the Black community. And so I'm going to land there. Hopefully other people can be respectful. And shout out again.
Okay. Well, Black intelligence, I'm going to be respectful, but certain things that you said, I'm going to touch on now. When you said that we shouldn't talk about her race and this and that or whatever, there's more important things. I agree with you. There are more important things when somebody's running for office in their race. But let's not forget this part right here. Every time, that there's a win column, whatever, when it comes to somebody saying the first Black this, the first Black that, Democrats do that all the time. They talk about appointing the first Black woman / Indian woman in office. They talk about Jackson on the Supreme Court being the first Black woman. So they say all the time when it's time for a scorecard, they always talk about the first Black this, the first Black that. They talk about Obama being the first Black president. So we sit up here and we say, we shouldn't talk about race. We shouldn't talk about race. We shouldn't talk about Black this, Black that, Black that. But whenever it comes election time and they started, counting down the actual, well, we did this, we did that. I put the first Black person in this office. I put the first Black person in that office. You always hear that. You always hear it come election time. You always hear it. If Kamala Harris wins and becomes president, that's going to be something Democrats are going to always talk about. Oh, we had the first Black man as president, and then we had the first Black woman and Indian woman as president as well, too. So we can't sit up here and say that, it just seems like sometimes when it's our candidate or person that we're going for, we don't want to bring that up. But any other time, people are proud and they're glad to say, we got this person as the first Black person that, the first Black person is the first Black person that. So it happens all the time. It's always happened in my lifetime. I'm in my 40s. I've always heard Democrats say the first Black person was this. We elected the first Black person. This was the first Black person to hold office here. This was the first Black person. Now with Kamala Harris, because Democrats, just as much as people say, people talking about she's not Black, they're just as much saying that she is Black. They've been talking about this for the beginning. She's the first Black this. She's the first Black that. So it's like, hey, it's okay to say, she is the first Black if I'm a Democrat, but don't you sit on the other side and say, you know what, she's not Black or she's not this or she's not that. That's what seems like what, the problem therein lies. As far as, Michael Jackson is dead. And, Michael Jackson, whether he was friends with Trump or whatever, I'm sure Michael Jackson was friends with a lot of presidents. Or people of a major. I mean, Michael Jackson knew heads of states. He knew royalty. He knew everything. He knew everybody else as well, too. So I'm sure that he was friends with a lot of people, whether his kids played with these kids or whatever. I don't know or whatever. The thing with Janet Jackson, that is something, like you say, Google is your friend or whatever. She could have Googled it or whatever and this and that or whatever. I don't know what Janet Jackson was told. I don't know or whatever. But apparently she thought it. A lot of people thought it. A lot of people thought that Kamala Harris was Indian for the longest. A lot of people thought it because she is Indian. Her mom's Indian. So she is Indian. She's not just black, she's Indian as well, too. So a lot of people thought that she was Indian. And she's made no secret about her Indian heritage as well, too. She spoke fondly of it. And I'm not saying that she shouldn't because she is Indian. So, like I said, just for the simple fact that, when it comes to people saying, you know what, well, we need to get away from this, we need to speak policy, this and that, I have no problem with that. Yeah, let's get policy. Let's see what you're talking about, doing this and that or whatever. When people say, yeah, you know what, I want to go ahead and use this and say, you know what, as a symbolic gesture that, hey, this woman here was the first black person to hold this office, or she was the first black person to hold that office. Like, it's okay when Democrats are doing it, but when other people say, you know what, then it's like, okay, well, why you keep talking about her blackness? Leave her blackness alone. It's like, hey, every time I turn around, I'm seeing the sororities coming out. I'm hearing her talk about her experience at HBCUs and this and that or whatever. I'm hearing collard green. Nobody made her come out with this collard green thing. She came out with that. Now, when she talked about it, people, oh, well, she was just joking and this and that or whatever. She came up with that. She came out when she comes out the music store. She comes out talking about what she likes to listen to. She talking about she was listening to Tupac years and stuff before Tupac was ever an artist or anything like that. So I mean, she comes out with as much of this stuff as well too. So let's not put it all on the media. Let's not put it all on the other party. Her party is giving her party lines or giving her a talking points to say as well too. So it's just more than one way. And like I said, I guarantee you, if she wins and becomes the president of the United States, for the next 60, 70 years, you're going to have Democrats saying, you know what, we had the first black president and we had the second black president / Asian woman. It'll be okay for them to go ahead and say that and talk about her color and everything else as well, too. Nobody have an issue with that. Nobody. When Colin Powell, what was he, the chief of staff or whatever, as a Republican, people talked about him being the first black chief of staff. People talk about it. In this country, anytime a black person does something that no other black person has done before, or held office or made an accomplishment, people forever say this was the first black person. This was the first black person to go in space. This was the first black person to climb Mount Everest. This was the first black person to be the admiral of this. This was the first black person to hold this position. This was the first black person. Everybody's proud of that. Everybody's proud of Jackie Robinson being the first black person. Everybody's proud of Doug Williams being the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Everybody's proud of Jack John. Everybody's proud of this. Everybody's proud of that. Until it's, oh, well, you know what? Why don't we stop? Well, okay, well, let's stop talking about it. Let's stop talking about what school she went to. Let's stop talking about what sorority she was in. Let's stop talking about all this other stuff since it's an issue when other people start talking about it. It's not an issue when one side is talking about it. When other people kind of question it and say, you know what, I don't feel this or feel like, then it's a problem. Then it's an issue. It's like, okay, who are you to question her blackness and this and that, whatever? Well, who are you to go ahead and say that she is this or that or whatever? What the same person that you say shouldn't be questioning it, what gives you the authority not to be questioned about it? Her father, you hear different points of views of her father. You hear people say that he was this, he was that. You heard people say, well, he never said that he was this or he was that as well, too. I've never met the man, so I can't say, but you have this going back and forth as well, too. So, like I say, it's an issue when one person says it, then it's an issue when another person says it. Hey, she's, some people say she's black when she's convenient. Some people say she's not black when she's convenient. She's been black her whole life and she's accepted being black and this and that, whatever. You're going to always have an argument on that. You're going to always have an argument on which where she stands at. Let me go ahead and get to Black Pressure. Are you up here? Black Pressure not up here. I may just drop him now because he may be in the Matrix. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna drop Black Pressure down because I think he may be in the Matrix. And when you get a chance, Pressure, you can come back up here. Let me get to a new speaker. Let me get to the Black Vanguard, and I'm gonna come back and then because I also, like I say, I want to touch up on these and real quick before I go ahead, let me touch up real quick on this Michael Eric Dyson thing. This is from Atlanta Black Star. Black Vanguard, I got you. I just want to touch up on this and then we can get back. Y'all can talk about the Janet Jackson situation. The title, You Are a Sorry Sick Soul. Michael Eric Dyson rips into Nancy Mace claim he flirted with her in text excuses of her trying to exploit the situation. Michael Eric Dyson fiercely denounced a suggestion that he flirted with Congresswoman Nancy Mace after a CNN interview last month in which she alleged that he called her racist. That interview featuring the South Carolina lawmaker and the Vanderbilt professor made headlines after Mace repeatedly mispronounced Vice President Kamala Harris' name during the segment and refused to correct himself. Dyson never called her racist on air, but explained why her behavior was problematic. When you disrespect Kamala Harris by saying you will call her whatever you want, I know you don't intend it to be that way. That's the history and legacy of white disregard for the humanity of black people, Dyson told Mace on the interview. During a congressional hearing on Thursday, Mace showed her fellow lawmakers a screenshot of a text Dyson sent her that featured a photo the pair took after the CNN interview, portraying it as flirtatious. In the text, he says, after calling me racist on CNN, don't tell anybody we look good together, and sent me a kiss emoji. The South Carolina lawmaker said in Thursday's hearing, then the guy saying, I'm gorgeous in all these photos. I don't think he's that bent out of shape on how anyone pronounces Kamala. And if we're going to have that standard, you have to hold up both sides, not just one or the other. I'm sorry, but this is beyond embarrassing for Michael Eric Dyson. Dyson posted a response on Instagram, fuming at Mace's conduct during the hearing. He read off the full text exchange with Mace and clarified that he was joking about how united they looked in the pictures they took after the CNN interview, given the very different political stances. I ain't hitting on Nancy Mace. This is a woman trying to exploit the situation, trying to pretend as if I was trying to hit on her, Dyson said. What you're trying to do is generate nastiness and viciousness because you're so bitter because you got your butt whipped that night, because I told you then that what you were doing is wrong, he said of Mace. He also condemned Mace's characterization of his intentions beyond the text as vicious, misleading, and ultimately racist. Your attempt is sad and sorry, but your bigoted and racist attempt will not succeed. Dyson remarked, there was no attempt to do anything but be gracious to you, but you're proven to be what I said you weren't, a vicious white supremacist racist who is incapable of accepting generosity and kindness with black men. You are a sorry, sick soul. While some people online regarded the text as flirtatious, others sided with Dyson's defense. This is very much strategic framing of that interaction for her to do this very thing. Why didn't she share the entire exchange? One person said she's clearly trying to extend her 15 minutes of infamy from the TV show. It's time to let it go. Let it go. Another comment read. Black Vanguard, go ahead and unmute your mic. You got it.
Yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You got it.
Yeah, so the Janet Johnson situation is that she got her top point for the black grassroots, because a lot of these politicians, celebrities, they see what goes on online on YouTube and Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. They see that the black grassroots got the ear of the streets. The Black Boule, the D9, all these other Boule, the D.L. Hughley's, the Luther Campbells, the Nikki Bardens, all these other Democratic shields, like the Plies, they don't have the ear of the black community, the Angela Rise. People don't respect them no more. The Urban Leagues, the Ann Cobras, the Narcs. So that's why they try and do all that slander campaign to Janet Jackson. But I'm glad a lot of our people standing up against it. Now you got a lot of these terrorists that's on TikTok and all over YouTube making videos trying to call Janet Johnson. She repeated white women talk points. That's actually a talk point gift from the DNC. This video I put up in the Jumbotron, this video I confirmed this older Democratic shield lady. They had a campaign office though over the headquarters though. We ended up shutting down for a few days though. We're gonna be back, continue to shut down. Hopefully they'll be able to pack their stuff up permanently though. But she was trying to say Kamala Harris is is black woman. So I said no, she ain't black though. She's an East Indian. When she was running for a senator in California, Attorney General, she always paraded herself as an East Indian or Asian American. She didn't parade herself as a black, quote-unquote, black woman until she got into
It's actually untrue. 2003, there was an article.
Okay, who's talking? Okay, whoever's talking, stay on your microphone. I'm not gonna say it again. Stay on your microphone. Do not interrupt a speaker. Go ahead, Black Vanguard.
Yeah, she didn't say she was quote-unquote black when she got to the vice presidency. And also, she wasn't raised around Black America, the Foundation Black America. She was raised in Oakland, but she spent most of her childhood in Canada. I believe it's Montreal, Canada. But y'all that been over to Canada, you got a huge Indian population in Canada. The Indians completely took over, so she wasn't raised around Foundation Black Americans. She was raised in Canada. They saying that she black, quote-unquote black, because she went to HBUC school. She joined the so-called sorority. You got white people, you got Asians, you got East Indians, you got Arabs that join these sorority fraternities, though these HBCU schools. You got Arabs and all different nationalities that that join these HBCU schools and these sorority fraternities, though. It doesn't mean somebody black because they join the HBCU or sorority fraternity, though. She want to say she's black, though, but she's not black. She's not a foundation Black American. And also, her track record in California proved that she's not an ally of foundation Black Americans. Also, is that she's a Hindu Bedouin. She's not even married to somebody from my own kind. She married a white Jewish man in Brentwood in the suburbs, though. So they always try and use it like she's born in Oakland, but she wasn't raised around Black Americans, though. And you got these peddlers trying to force her black identity, but this whole identity crisis actually started under Barack Obama. See, these tedders and these Democratic Party, they think that we was going to do, they trying to basically do the same thing with what happened with Barack Obama. They trying to put a Barack Obama 2.0, and I'm glad a lot of people learned a lesson, though. When Barack Obama was the vice president, black people were being slaughtered left and right by the race soldiers all throughout this country. And Kamala Harris said she ain't going to do nothing for black people, no. I guarantee you, though, I thank God that Kamala Harris is losing the polls, though. If she was to win, she's going to be protected, but that backlash is going to put on Foundation Black American Society. Then you always see what's going on with all these illegals further across the border. You always see what's going on in Chicago or New York or Denver or Los Angeles, all these other major cities, how they bring these Venezuelan gangs. But y'all understand that, Newstoter, that the Venezuelan gang called Trinidad and Garver, it's so bad over there, they got sanctioned by the federal government. The U.S. Treasury Department sanctioned them and said they can't have no bank accounts, they can't have no financial transactions while they're in the U.S., though. They actually labeled this Venezuela gang that they come into this country for the last 2.5 years, they labeled them as Tier 1 terrorist organization in the state of Texas, though. That's how bad it is, though. And you got videos of our brothers in Chicago saying these Venezuela gang started who's probably Chicago, same thing in New York, and all these major cities. And the Haitians, though, is that Kamala Harris actually flooded to bring all the Haitians in. But let me tell you about the Haitians, though. I don't wish no violence or harm on anybody, though, but these Haitians, though, don't know what they're getting stuff into, though. Like, they putting them in sundown towns. Springfield, Ohio is a sundown town. That Chalooska, Alabama, that's a sundown town. So they putting these Haitians in these majority white sundown towns, and then if Trump get back in there, whoever wins or loses, they're going to put a green light on them Haitians, though, because what they should have done is that they should have got with Foundation Black Americans to separate themselves from them, but it's too late already, though. But back to the Janet Johnson, though, is that's number fake outrage and stuff like that. But we got Janet Johnson, though, because she has been locked for Foundation Black American Society. Kamala Harris has done nothing to benefit Foundation Black American Society. She actually detrimented. People already know what happened to her track record while she returned to General California there at San Francisco, while she locked up black people and overheld evidence to get them released early. And also about Janet Johnson, though, she did a lot of black people, though. She got a lot of black people employed. I haven't seen Kamala Harris using her influence, though, to help our black community. Same thing about the Democratic Shields. I respect Janet Johnson, though, because she's related to the Revolutionary George Jackson, though, the Jackson family. So her family did a lot to help our Black American society, though. So we will never let no Democratic Shields or no tedders or no left-wingers trying to score a division between us and Janet Johnson, though. That's all I got to say.
All right. Thank you, Black Vanguard. Let me get to Park Avenue. Park Avenue, I know you left a message about letting you speak, but brother, I'm going to let you go ahead and speak, but I just want you to remember one other thing, that there's other hands up here, and we got to get to the other hands up here as well, too. So we don't just we just don't keep it on one speaker and have a back and forth. Let me real quick give a shout out to Chosen 619 over there on YouTube. He has two questions. Says and thank you for the super chat or super sticker, whichever one it is. Says Kamala was born in Oakland and raised in Canada. He also says Hindu people embarrass and don't claim her. I don't know exactly what her relationship is to Hindu people, but thank you for the super sticker, super chat, Chosen 619. Park Avenue, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you. Apologize for just hearing so many falsehoods. I just can't stop myself. But I took some notes down for all the things that were not true. I just want to be able to give facts, because at the end of the day, facts don't care much about your opinions. And we have to use facts. Reading is fundamental, and education is very, very fundamental. Number one, Kamala Harris, the whole idea of her being this terrible person, terrible DA and Attorney General on black people is a lie. It's been disproven with facts. Whenever Department of Justice for states come out and do whatever they have to do, they put out reports for how many people were arrested, how many people were incarcerated, whatever else. If you look at the facts, you'll see that she actually lowered the black incarceration rate in California. Number two, when we talk about husbands and saying that someone is more black because they married, Janet Jackson had 3 husbands. None of them are foundational black Americans, FBA. Number 3.
That would be a mistake because the barge was mother was a black American. But go ahead.
Okay, so he's in the same boat as Kamala Harris being half black. Next topic.
Well, no, because the barge mother was actually a black American, so she was actually born here in America.
Okay, well,
And Kamala Harris slept with a 95-year-old.
Well, hold on, Pressure. Get back on your mic. But no, I'm just correcting you that her mother is a black American. So I mean, I'm just correcting you on that.
that's fine. Congratulations.
Yeah, Park. Hold on for a second.
Jackson is a full black American. She's not half anything, sir. Go ahead, though.
You can go ahead, Park. Okay, I guess Park is.
Hey, Toad, I believe you said.
I'm still here. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought he said he was gonna dip out or something.
Hey,
Full House came on. He got quiet.
When we take a look at the facts for what she was able to do, take a look at her rhetoric when she was DA or Attorney General of the state of California, both elected positions, we can see that she was actually one of the first justice officials in the country to begin talking about being not tough on crime, but smart on crime. When you take a look at that quote where people love just taking the 3-second clips, because that's what a lot of uneducated people do. They take 3-second clips of videos and say, that's what the person said, and the alternate. And that whole quote where she says, I'm not going to do things for black people. You have to watch the entire clip and add, what I love to say, context. She was actually talking about how reparations are needed, talking about how reparations are very important, and to make sure that we have a discussion about how important it is to support the idea of reparations.
Hey, come on, y'all. Let this man speak here. Okay, raise your hand. Keep it on mute. Let him speak, and then anybody else that wants to speak, go ahead and raise your hand. Let him go ahead and speak. He's talking. Don't interrupt him. Same way I told him not to interrupt anybody. Go ahead, Park.
I'm going to end it with here. I just want to say the facts again. And I think it's just sad that.
I need you. You sound like you got your earbuds back in. You got your earbuds back in?
Sorry.
Thank you.
Regardless of how you feel about the politics, one thing I always tell myself when I see a lot of people bash Vice President Harris is that there were also slaves at the time who wanted to stay in slavery. But my point being is that you have to respect people regardless of how you feel about it. And you also have to respect the facts. Regardless of what rhetoric you see online, regardless of what rhetoric you want to fall into, regardless of whatever you see, go by the facts. Kamala Harris has a track record that is backed up by facts. Not opinions, not crazy talking points for people who don't watch videos longer than 3 seconds, but facts. You can look at the data of who's arrested. You can look at the data of how many people were in jail. You can look these things up, and they all show that she has a pro-black, criminal justice background. Those are the facts. If you're upset with me saying this stuff, I'm sorry. Those are just the facts. I'm sorry they don't work for your agenda. I'm sorry that whoever's pushing, your agenda and paying you to spew this nonsense is not adding up to it. You have to go about the facts.
Okay, Park. Now this is the problem I have. This is. I'm going to hit the mute button. Here's a problem I got because I don't want anybody interrupting the host while he speaks. I'm going to take it off of mute. As soon as you say that somebody says something that you like, now you're saying that the person is being paid. You're sitting up here, you're saying that people are being paid because they hold a difference of opinion than what you share. So you're saying you can put your thumb down, but you just said that, Negro. You just said no matter who you're being paid. No, you just said that.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did. You said despite who you're being paid by.
Let me make sure everyone can understand very clearly. I said that just because the talking point that you get that is funded by right-wing people does not match the facts. There's a lot of money. We all know how politics works. I ran my own election. I worked for several other elections, political campaigns. There are people who pay millions of dollars.
And that would also serve the Democrats as well too, wouldn't that? That would also serve the Democrats as well, because there are people paying the Democrats, there are people paying celebrity influencers and movie stars and singers and everything else to go ahead and to co-sign Democrat talking points as well too. So it's not just a Republican thing, it's a political thing, right? No, that's my point. I'm saying, are we in agreement there? Are we in agreement that people are being paid on both sides? Okay.
But we've got to use facts in these debates.
And here's the thing too. You talk about that tape, that you talk about that video, and you're saying that people saw 3 minutes or a couple minutes of it. We saw the whole video when Kamala Harris was sitting up here talking about reparations. Okay. Kamala Harris straight up did not hold back. She said exactly. She was saying that, okay, she's not going to do anything specifically for Black people. She said that. There's no breaking down. There's no slicing of the tape. There's nothing like that. She was basically saying, that reparations, it'll be good for everybody. So if she was pretty much saying that if she's going to do something for Black people, it has to be beneficial for everybody in the country. We have seen that videotape before. So I don't know why we're saying that, you only saw a little bit of it. No, we saw the entire video. And she's saying, okay, if she's going to do something for Black people, it's got to benefit the entire nation. That's what she was saying. That she's not going to do anything exclusively that's going to benefit Black people.
Look, I'm not disagreeing with you. Those were the exact words she said. I think the context of it is that she was proposing the LIFT Act, which would have benefited Black people too. But I just want to say one thing, right? I believe in reparations. I think reparations are needed. It's a requirement to get justice and to do what is right. We are owed money for the hard work, labor that we were forcefully done picked to do. 100%. Here's the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is that for anything to get passed in this country, it has to go through a political, congressional, and then signed by the president. Reparations as it stands right now, and I like what Kamala Harris mentioned this in the Oprah debate. Reparations as it is right now, it needs to be talked about and educated so that not just 13% of the or 13 to 20% of whatever number you choose believes in it, right? There's polls that have been done on reparations. Reparations, unfortunately, and I disagree with this point, but it's one of the most unpopular positions that you can take up. They've done polls on this. 80% of white people disagree with it. Hispanic is 60%. I think Asian was about 60%. And actually, I think only less than 80% of Black people approve of it. So we have to be able to talk about this to get it for 218 congressional people from all across the nation to agree to this. It will not happen unless we have an educated conversation about it, get 219 people in the House, and get 50 or 60 senators in the Senate. A task that is extremely hard. We're looking at funding the federal government. You can't even get the Congress to agree on that. So let's have an honest conversation. Let's be honest and say the fact that to get reparations passed through Congress would take a lobby, would take an education, would take an effort that has been unknown to any of us. Okay? It was hard to even get Trump to do some of the things he wanted to do, like the border wall. And he had the Republican Congress united around his finger, and he couldn't even get the border wall. You cannot just say things or you have to do things and they get passed. That's not politics. Politics is a game of policy and winning the debate. And we can scream at the top of the rooftop all we want about how important reparations is, which I believe. It will not get done unless we have 219 people in the House of Representatives and then another 50 senators. If they choose to also block the filibuster, if you don't do that, you need 60 senators to do it. You need to get the votes. And as it stands right now, if Kamala Harris came out to say, I support reparations, she would lose in a landslide because it's unpopular. Not only that, it would never pass because the votes are not there in the Congress. So it's like, for all of you who want reparations, go run for office. Do it. We all right now can agree that we need it. Let's go run for office. Let's make the policy popular. Let's put money behind the policy.
It's not going to happen without that.
All right. Thank you. Now I want to real quick, and let me give a shout out to Black Pressure, and let me give a shout out to Miss Trigger. And let me go ahead and say this real quick. In the 1960s, integration was not a popular thing in this country. Most white people in this country didn't feel like the country needed to be integrated. They were totally fine. A vast majority of white people, and I'm talking about Democrats too, because I know they want to say that it was just a Republican thing. I'm talking about both of them, and I'm talking about the American citizens as well too. They had no issue whatsoever with black people living in segregation, not one bit. They had no problem with Jim Crow. The vast majority of white people in this country supported it. The vast majority of white people in this country also supported slavery as well too. So we can see a precedent that, yeah, well, just going by the when we go by what most white people in this country have never supported anything that was going to be remotely beneficial to black people. They found all kind of excuses and reasons why something shouldn't be passed or given, and everything else as well too. So we can't just simply say, you know what, it's unpopular and this and that or whatever. I'm pretty sure if Abraham Lincoln and everybody else that was doing that time, and no, I don't believe Lincoln freed the slaves, but let's just say hypothetically Lincoln got up there and said, you know what, the first thing I'm going to do is act the president of the United States is free the slaves. I'm pretty sure they would have slapped the hell out of him and ran him up out of there. His own party would have. So yeah, a lot of people, they say stuff and this and that or whatever, and it's not popular or whatever, but we know this. So we understand that something like reparations. My phone breaking up.
Yeah, it's like you're going in and out. Go ahead.
That sounds like your phone going in and out. Is my phone going?
I can hear you.
Yeah, Professor.
Your phone was kind of going in and out. Total. Yeah, it was going in and out.
Okay, well, let me go ahead and let me get to I see we got a new speaker up here. Let me get no taxation, and we'll get the Rella. We'll get to Black Intelligence. We'll get to Duncan as well too. But let me see if I can clear my phone out real quick. But go ahead, no taxation.
All right, news. I'll holler at you when you get back. DJ and Professor the call.
Let me try to clear my phone out, guys, real quick. I'm gonna jump back up into space. Let me try to clear my phone out real quick and get back up in here.
Park Avenue, a couple of things that he probably doesn't know. There's no political will on Capitol Hill to do anything, Mr. Park Avenue, for Black Americans in this country, and there hasn't been for years, because one of the people that your party put into office made it so. That's President Barack Obama. Yeah. And having said that, I will tell you this about reparations, which is something you probably don't know. I'm sure you don't know. The word reparations for us in this country is on every political person on Capitol Hill's lips. You hear what I'm telling you? The Congressional Black Caucus has the roadmap and has had the roadmap pre-COVID. There's a book. There's a roadmap. They know Derek Hamilton's plan. They know Julianne Malveau's plan. They know Sandy Darity's plan. There's plans out there that people have been discussing. Maybe you weren't in. But the office of the presidency has been a major problem for Black Americans since Barack Obama. He took away all of our money that we stood on, the billions of dollars that we had, and he dispersed it to everybody else in the country. And so we're at a point where we're starting all over again. But trust me when I tell you, there's no political will for reparations, and it comes from the Congressional Black Caucus. It comes from your party, and it comes from your people. When I started this journey 10 years ago, white folks were at 14% of saying they believed that we should have reparations. We're now at 31% of white folks. That's all we needed. We don't need no more percentages for their side. What we need is for your party and your people to get out of our way. That's what we need. If a Kenyan American president who ran on being black, like Kamala is, understood anything about blackness in America, and understood the perils that we faced in this country and face every day, even if we don't live in our house, they break in and kill us. See? And if a black man that you call black, Kenyan American, didn't understand it and didn't have the political will, but had everything on his side to do it, and didn't do it, then that tells you all of America and the international stage what your party thinks about us and the plight that we have. And that continues today with this immigration stuff that Biden let Mayorkas pull and Kamala signed off on it. So I think you're in the wrong room to try to tell us about how great your party is, because we don't think so. The majority of the people that come over here, we discuss how we can move forward. We don't talk down on other people. It's not something we do. We try to respect humanity at all times. And I see that's not something that you gave us. But you are different. And so I get it. And I'm going to leave it there.
Hey, can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, you good, dog. You sound clear. Yeah, you sound clear.
All right. Let me go ahead and get to matter of fact, Duncan, you're a new speaker, and I'm gonna get to Rella, Black Intelligence, and the other speakers. But Duncan, let me go ahead and get to you while you're a new speaker. Before I get to you guys, for those that can support us on Cash App, $Newstoter, $Newstoter. Newstoter is the largest Black-owned, Black American news media curation platform today in America. $Newstoter, $Newstoter. We also have the membership up in the Jumbotron as well, too, on the far right-hand side. For as little as $1.75 a month, you can support the Newstoter.com platform. Go ahead and create your account. Takes less than a minute, and you can support us for as little as $1.75 a month. We probably will not be because we got a hurricane coming to hit Tallahassee, it looks like by Thursday, unfortunately. And they're talking about potentially a Category 3. So we will definitely not be doing any spaces Thursday, Friday. We don't do them on Friday anyways. And I had one planned for Wednesday, but looking how things are looking right now, that's probably a no-go as well, too. So this may be the only space broadcast for the week, because we do have a tropical storm that's about to turn into a Category 2, 3 headed towards our area around Thursday. So
yeah, that changed, Newstoter, because they calling it a Hurricane 3+. So
yeah,
that's saying 3 to a 4 now.
Yeah, that's scary too. I'm gonna be honest. That's really scary. But
Hey, Professor, that's making it sound like it's the new iPhone model 3+. You know what I'm saying?
let me go ahead.
That's what I was thinking too.
Let me go ahead and get the Duncan. Duncan, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yes, thanks, daughter. I'm not a know-it-all. As the interests of the political part of reparations. I'm not gonna say I understand it in total, right? But the little bit I do know, which I'm pretty sure everybody in the room knows about Special Field Order 15. General Sherman, Special Field Order 15. And I think this would have been carried out if it would not have been for the assassination of Abraham Lincoln and the Compromise of 1877. And so I don't see why it has to go through the House of Representatives, the Congress. Why can't it be just an executive order, signed in by the President of the United States? I'm not as abreast to it as a lot of people in the room, but the way I look at it, it should be able, he can use they can use their executive order. His president signed it in. You know, and it's not something that. And see, the reason I say that is because I don't think that the Congress should have the right to say if it's okay to give us reparations or not, because America has already made that promise. So it's a debt that they haven't fulfilled. If we give them the freedom to BS us and debate back and forth and vote on if we deserve what they already promised us, that would make us like a joke. They already said it's in writing that they owe us this thing. So I think the discussion part, in my opinion, and you know, the discussion part is over with. It's been over with long before. Really, we talking about adding in interest because of Jim Crow and stuff like that. But yeah, I think that it should be signed into by executive order by the president of the state. And to speak to the title of the room, when they're talking about, I see you got Janet Jackson in there. It was very distasteful and very nasty and childish what DL said about Janet Jackson. Said that, you know, how she gonna talk about somebody with a white nose. That was very prejudiced for him to say that. And I would even go so far to say that he was body shaming. And I don't, and from the body shaming community and the feminist community, the only reason I think that they're not upset about that, because she was speaking truth about Kamala Harris. And so they don't want to defend Janet Jackson, you know, because of the Kamala Harris thing, you know. And to me, it shows the hypocrisy of the body shaming movement, the feminist movement. It shows the hypocrisy of it for me, because it shows that it's only weaponized to push democratic narrative, right? If it can't be, you know, fair on both sides, and I'm not even saying Janet Jackson's Republican, but just because she had critique, she heard or whatever like that about Kamala, they feel that they don't want to, you know, speak about or counsel DL for body shaming, you know, Janet Jackson. To me, the whole body shaming movement never had relevancy in the first place. It was a racist weapon to be used against, especially black people. But that's all I want to say. I'm gonna be going.
All right, thank you, Duncan. I appreciate it. Let me go ahead and get to the Black intelligence, and then we're gonna go ahead and Professor, I see you got your hand up too. So I want to go ahead and get to you as well. A lot of people here. Let's make sure we share out the night of the room. Share out the room tonight. Share out the room. Share it out. Like I said, this is probably gonna be the only space this week as well too. So definitely go ahead and share the room out. Go ahead, Black intelligence.
Hey, what's going on again? I just wanted to jump in here again, and I wanted to correct a little bit of some misinformation earlier. Another speaker, but I want to say one thing, because I spoke about policy earlier. It's not about Kamala Harris. It's about the cabinet. It's about the policies that are going to be coming forth from that cabinet. And I know reparations is not the title of the space, but when it comes to actually reparations, and you look at the two presidential candidates, there's only one candidate who has co-sponsored a reparations bill, whether you agree with the bill, whether you love the bill. There's only one candidate that's running that has supported and put their name and put their signature on actual legislation for a reparations bill that Cory Booker was actually the author of that bill. And so let's be clear that Republicans don't support reparations. In fact, if you live in the state of Tennessee, it is illegal for local officials to even study reparations. And these are the people who are saying we should go unite with on this app. Go unite with the people who are making it illegal for you to study reparations in your state. And so you are cutting off your nose to spite your face if that is your type of thinking. Kamala Harris has, for a very long time, since at least 2012, in newspapers and articles, and has identified herself as Black and Indian. We can't miss the and in there. You can be both things, Black and Indian. And so people fail to read. They skip over that. That's their fault. Google is free. And so if you don't know how to utilize it, that is your problem. And when it comes to immigration, let's also be clear. Donald Trump killed the immigration bill. So if people want to bring up Chicago and Chicago's going through this because the Texas governor is a Republican governor is shipping thousands of immigrants to my city, but I'm going to blame Kamala and Joe Biden. Come on, stop smoking the stuff. Let's be serious. Because a Texas governor.
Hey, Duncan, stay on your microphone. Stay on your microphone, Duncan. Go ahead.
I'm all about the facts. You know, that's what I'm about. And so a Texas Republican governor and also DeSantis in Florida, they are the ones that are responsible for your immigration crisis. And then when Kamala and Joe Biden brought Republicans and Democrats together, because they have to work together to get legislation passed in this country, to come to the table and pass that bill, Donald Trump picked up the phone and said, no, I'm going to run on a problem instead of fixing a problem. So let's use our brain cells, because I know that there are a lot of intelligent Black people in this space right now who can see that Donald Trump sabotaged immigration. So stop blaming the person who's not responsible for it. And I want to say another thing, that I know that people want to talk about swirling on this app, but people can't get on this app and be mad about, let's say, Jamie Foxx, and we're seeing the generational wealth going into a Black community, and we don't like that. But when we call out someone else who is swirling, but they're talking about someone else's Blackness, defend it. We can't have it both ways. If you're gonna be Blackity Black on the app, or Blackity Black in magazines, but then when we turn around, you're always laid up with somebody non-Black, or you're getting surgeries to look less phenotypically Black, that is a problem. And so it's only fair, if you're gonna bring up who Kamala was in a relationship with, and who you think she laid with, people are gonna bring up who you was with. And so you gotta keep the same energy about that. And also the rhetoric regarding Haitians.
Okay, what the Haitian stuff? Okay, like because you just brought up interracial dating, and then you just brought up the Haitians and stuff. Like, let's kind of try to keep it on topic a little bit, right?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna land there for now. Only thing I want to say about the Haitian people is that Black people are being attacked. Black Americans who white supremacists think look Haitian, they're being attacked in the street. And I haven't heard of any physical attacks yet, but I have seen videos of Black Americans who have been approached by white people. They have been called racial slurs. They have been told to go back to Haiti. And so what I'm saying on here is that what some of these things that are happening on social media, it is dangerous. And some people, not necessarily you, but some people may think that, I got that off by saying what I said about the Haitians. But when another Black person is getting harmed by that, was it really worth it? Including Black children who had to be sent home. So I'm just laying there.
Okay, because I got to address what you said here. Okay. Speaking, like I said, the Haitian situation, that wasn't even a topic tonight. But since you decided to bring that in, listen, I'm in Florida. I was born and raised and lived in Florida my entire life. I have never been attacked or mistaken for being Haitian. Okay, I just want to go ahead and say that. Also, let's not sit up here and act like this was the situation with the Haitians going on. This was something that Black Americans started and created. This came from the GOP. That night they was having a debate. They mentioned that and stuff like that. Now, and here's a problem that a lot of Black Americans have now. That the situation clearly came from white people, the white media, the Republican Party. If you have an issue, take that up with them. Don't take that up with us, okay? Because Black Americans have long, and I can tell it. I don't know how old you are, when I'm in my 40s, Black Americans have long supported Haitians in this country. They supported Haitians when they came over here. They saw the mistreatment of how Haitians were being treated compared to Cubans and stuff like that, and they spoke up for them. So any hate that they get and stuff like that, that's not from Black Americans. So let's just go ahead and get that clear. Every Haitian that had a problem or was said that night in a debate, they should take that up with Fox, the white media, Donald Trump, and all of those people like that. They should not, and that's the problem. Now you're going to go ahead and you're going to tie Black Americans into that. Now forget whatever little back and forth you may have online with the vast majority of Black people have not said anything derogatory about Haitians whatsoever. So let me go ahead and clear that up. And like I say, I'm in Florida. I'm in the state that has the most Haitians out of any, more than New York. There's more Haitians in Florida than there's in any other state. I have never, and I grew up with Haitians, cool with Haitians and everything else like that. I have never been attacked or misidentified as a Haitian, anything like that as well too. So I just want to go ahead and say that Black people have for the longest, whenever a Black person came over here, they have looked at them all as Black people and they have helped them out as much as that. And we can't sit up here, and I'm not going to sit up here and let people do the social media thing and try to blame us for the mistreatment of other Black immigrants coming into this country, because that has not ever been what we have done. We have never done that. We didn't do that in Florida. We didn't run out behind Jamaicans or Haitians with pitchforks and blow torches and trying to do any harm to them, anything like that ever. So let me just go ahead and clear that up real quick right there. We had absolutely nothing whatsoever to do with that. Okay, I just want to say that because I know you made a lot of statements. Like I said, you saw it, interracial dating. People can date what they want to, but at the same time, people are gonna say what they want to as well too. You know, if you're dating, if you're mixed, and people said that about Janet Jackson and the Jacksons and a lot of celebrities and stuff as well too. So people have always made mention of Black people taking their wealth and then giving it back to the white communities as well too. That talk is not going to end anytime soon. If you look at the NBA, NFL. I grew up in the 90s, and half of the people I cheer for, a good deal of them got mixed kids playing sports now. That's the world we live in. But I just want to just go ahead and say, hey, you know what? We had absolutely nothing to do with that. And Haitians and anybody else that felt that they were offended or whatever, they need to go ahead and they need to do what Black people in this country do. You know, Black people in this country, when they have an issue with the majority in this country, they don't go to Native Americans, they don't go to Latinos, they don't go to Asians, they don't go pointing their fingers about, well, y'all didn't stand up for us or y'all made fun of us with them as well too. We go right to where it started at. We take it right to Mr. Charlie and say, you know what, we got an issue with you. So they need to go ahead and do that exact same thing as well. Newstoter, we got a bunch of Black-owned newspapers. All of them have criticized the treatment of the Haitians and stuff like that as well too. So we can't put that on Black Americans whatsoever. As far as Kamala Harris, like I say, we're gonna have, people, it depends on the people you speak from in California. Some people in California love the way she was the attorney general out there. Other people felt that, hey, there were a number of Black people that got railroaded, a number of people that she knew was innocent and stuff like that as well too, and that she wasn't more proactive in trying to get those people set right. That would be an issue for the Black people that was out there in California. They could better answer that than I could. I've heard different stories, positive and negative, about her time out there as an AG in California. But I just want to go ahead and say that too often, too many times, we're getting blamed for this and that or whatever. That had nothing whatsoever to do with us whatsoever. I'm just saying that I see people have gotten upset with the entire Jackson family for something that Janet Jackson may have said, may not have said, or whatever. And they went, oh, well, well, yeah, a lot of the people that y'all talk about, they're in interracial relationships as well too. So I just want to go ahead and put that out there. You said a bunch of other stuff, but the Haitian thing is really what caught my attention, because it's like that. It's like the thing with what goes on with Ukraine, or you have Israel and you have Palestine. Like, hey, if Black Americans don't say something, then y'all perpetuate hate and all kind of stuff like that. Everybody else stays in their little corner. And when things happen to Black people in this country, they don't say a word. But the minute something happens to them, we have to go ahead and be vocal and say this and say that and all this and that. So no, we gonna agree to disagree on that. It's not Black Americans' fault. Blame Trump. Blame the white media. Don't blame the Black media. Don't blame the old Black media. Don't blame the new Black media. Don't blame the independent Black media. Blame Mr. Charlie, blame the white folks. Don't sit up there like Botham John people and sit up there and hug these people that they do all kind of crap. That you take it to them, take the fight to them the same way we've always taken the fight to them as well too. So don't sit up here and don't talk about, well, one black person's being attacked. And that. We know better than anybody. If one black person's being attacked, we sit up there and we stand up for them. We've done that for black immigrants that came over here and got their brains blown out and been mistreated and everything else like that. So no. We're not gonna put that. We're not gonna lay that at the foot of black people. We're just not gonna do that. Now let me go ahead and get to Professor. I know you was waiting for a minute. Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, thank you, Newstoter, and thank you for kicking the backs to these folks, man. It's just all kinds of misinformation being just all kinds of misinformation by certain ones up in here, man, that's talking down to the black Americans in this space. And I'm mainly speaking to these two right here, Black and Intelligence and this Park logo, or whatever his name is, Park Avenue. You guys have come up in here disseminating this Democratic shield crap all over this space that we just don't want to hear. Okay? Kamala is not black. I'm going to say it again for you. Kamala is not black, or Kamala is not black American. She's not black. She's not one of us. She's not like us. We don't want her around us. She can go to hell as far as I'm concerned. And here's my thing for you. You all can go to hell too. But coming up in here talking down to us, calling people ignorant, speaking down to us like we don't understand the politics and like we don't understand the game. So when you come up into a black American space trying to educate us about somebody that we already know is not going to do anything for us, and she has even stated so in a video, in an interview, as you say, we need to get on Google, and Google is free, right? Well, let me tell you something. Google is free for you. We watched the videos. We have watched her. She's not for us, so we don't want nothing to do with her. She is not one of us. She would never be one of us. We would not support her. There you go. I land my plane right there.
Oh yeah, and I wanted to mention the one thing you talked about, the immigration bill. Now here's the problem I have with this. Donald Trump, whether he was running for or not, Donald Trump was not an elected official. So if his party decided to go ahead and not sign the actual bill or whatever to go ahead and move forward with the about immigration, then that's on the Republicans. You can't put it on somebody who's not even in office. I mean, damn, is he got that kind of power that he's not in office and he can tell them, okay, especially we know it's a good amount of Republicans in the Republican Party that do not like Donald Trump either. All of them that in the party that can't stand Donald Trump, wishing that another candidate would come up and actually take it. They're gonna say, "Oh, you know what? Donald said don't vote for this, so we're not gonna vote for this." I have a hard time believing that. And also, why wait until the fifth hour to go ahead and get this immigration bill? Why not do that in year one while you was in office? Why not do that in year two when you was in office? Why not do that in year three? Now election time is 7-8 months away. Now you want to go ahead and you want to sign the immigration bill. When you had all of this time to go ahead and sign and put this into play, now you want to go ahead and sign the immigration bill. When you had all of these previous years to go ahead, when you first got in there to go ahead and sign the immigration bill. I don't understand that part right there. I'm a little bit baffled about that. Let me go ahead and get to Ant-Man. I'm gonna get to you because I know you was up here in trouble. I got you next. Ant-Man, go ahead, you got it.
Thank you for inviting me up to speak. Regarding Duncan's comment about the president using executive order to move reparations forward, just like Lincoln was assassinated, the current day president who does an executive order, he's going to be taken out of office as well, unalive, just like Kennedy was unalive when he put forth financial instruments that wanted to compete with the Federal Reserve. He created financial instruments, and 5 days later, he got shot in the head. So any president who does an executive order, and I'm not speaking this into existence, and I don't want the Secret Service showing my door tonight, but any president who signs an executive order could meet the same fate, and then we'd be right back in the same situation that we were when the executive order, let's call it an executive order, for it wasn't, because they didn't call it executive orders back then, but whatever it was called back then could be reversed by whoever succeeded that particular president. So that's why I'm not saying it couldn't happen, shouldn't happen. I'm saying that is one of the outcomes. That's the downside. So that puts us right back into where we are now, still trying to get reparations passed, and it just complicates the picture. So not saying it's not possible, not saying that it shouldn't happen, saying there are consequences. Now to Black Intelligence point about Cory Booker, quote unquote, co-sponsoring a reparations bill. That is misinformation. I won't say he's lying, but I will say he is at least being disingenuous. That bill was let me just read from Cory Booker's website, booker.senate.gov. Booker reintroduces legislation to form commission for study of reparations proposal for African Americans. U.S. Senator Cory Booker, a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, introduced S-40, the commission to study and develop a reparations proposal for African Americans. So it was not a bill for reparations, it was another study, just like H.R. 40, which should have been buried with Sheila Jackson Lee. So if you didn't know that it was a study that he introduced the bill for, then Google would have told you that. You told us to use Google. You need to take your own advice and educate yourself before you come in here and try and bamboozle us. So I will leave it at that and tip my hat. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Rella's in the space, but she says she got kicked.
I was just about to say that, hey, Rella, you ain't nowhere to be found, sister. You at the bottom of the 63 powerful. I'm sorry, love.
Yeah,
love
yeah, we can't find it. Yeah.
Love. You know what I'm saying?
She's yeah, I don't. She got another profile. She's got another profile, but I don't see that profile in here either.
Let me say this news while he's talking about that amendment to H.R. 40 in Cory Booker's office, Senator Cory Booker's office. You're talking to the person that took the economist up there to work on that piece of legislation. So please understand, you really don't know what you're talking about. I personally took an economist up there to work on the amendment with Toya Boyd, his senior legal advisor. Okay? So don't come in here talking about H.R. 40 and the study, and I know what happened to the bill. I know why it was killed. I know all of that. Okay? Let's go back to the topic and talk about Janet Jackson. This isn't a reparations space, but we can give it to you if you want it to be.
No
taxation.
Serious
reparation in here. Okay?
No taxation. Who are you addressing?
I'm addressing Black, not you, whoever that is. But anyway, so Janet Jackson.
I thought you might be coming to me because you have me blocked, so I didn't know what your attitude was.
Who are you? Who are you? If I have you blocked, I got you blocked. Then what?
I'm the admin.
I don't even see you. I don't know you. I don't
open your eyes. Open your eyes.
Okay, real quick, Ant-Man. She was talking to the Black Intelligence, and I think she was talking to Park Avenue. Real quick, but let her go ahead because I want to go ahead and get to Trouble because Trouble's the actual next speaker. So let her go ahead and land it real quick so I can go ahead and get to Trouble.
Thanks, News. Janet can never be canceled, and that's just true to you. I don't care if she get 10 nose jobs, just like her brother did. Michael wasn't canceled. Janet's not canceled, and we're not canceling no Jacksons, and that's just what that is. I am a little bit surprised at Michael Eric Dyson. I will say. Simply because he is not known for moving like that. But who knows what? And I think his wife actually, I think a lot of her. I think she's a lovely woman, and I'm acquainted with her. I'm not acquainted with him. Mark Robinson, that's that crazy man down there. Where is he at? Is that crazy black man down there that
Yeah, Mark. He's the one. He was the one saying all that crazy. Well, allegedly saying all that crazy stuff about being a black Nazi and supporting slavery and all this other crazy crap.
And then they found out he was doing pornography.
Looking at transgenders. Looking at transgenders too.
Oh yeah, that's why they want him out. I was gonna say quiet as it's kept word on the curb is they don't even like him no way in the Republican Party. And when the white boys don't like you down there, they put you out quick. And I think see, black folks don't understand. We can't go out there and say what white boys say. Now, because it looks stupid, it sounds stupid, and you look like Uncle Ruckus Robinson. And I believe it there.
All right. Let me go ahead and get to and we got over 100 and some odd people in here. Y'all definitely go ahead and retweet out this space, Damn, I think I didn't record this space. I didn't record the last one either. So you retweet it out. People, they can come in here and listen to it. But if they want to catch it, they're gonna have to catch the replay on YouTube because I did not record the space. So definitely go ahead and retweet it out and get as many people in here as possible. Like I said, this is gonna be the only space more than likely for this week because of the hurricane coming. Let me go ahead and get to my girl Trouble. Trouble, what's up? And then I got you, Black Majority State. I see you up here as well too.
Hey, Newstoter. Shout out to the black family in the room. DJ Professor, Taxation, Black Majority State.
What's up, Trouble?
What's up, Trouble? What's up?
Hey,
Find your sister, Rella Triple, yo. She
we looking for Rella, man. We looking for Rella.
Rella been
put an AVP out on her.
Yeah, I'm just enjoying the space. I can't talk long. I'm in the middle of something, but I just wanted to. And Total always take my talking points. The text came through with the fire, with the desire, as always. So what I'm going to say, and I'll say this, and to the brother who said something about what all the white folks in Congress is not going to do, and A, B, and C. Congress never needed a popular opinion of the people before they passed something. They never needed the popular opinion of the people in order to pass what the hell they wanted to pass. I'm going to pull a Umar and say Congress never needed the popular opinion of the people in the United States to pass what it was that they want to pass. They pass what they choose to pass, and they don't everything else. So as far as 10% of Asians, 15% of Hispanics, 13% of white folks agreeing about reparations, that has no effect on what Congress is going to do when Congress decides to do what they're going to do. With that one statement being said, this is not a space about reparations. The title of the room is Janet Jackson Backlash, Michael Eric Dyson, and the Mark Robinson drama. But this is the foolishness that we have to deal with when it comes to a lot of you Democratic shields, who, by the way, never show up in these spaces unless it's about a Democratic hack like a Kamala Harris. Y'all are never here any other time. But since y'all are here, and since you want to talk about somebody getting paid, Newstoter.com, baby. Hashtag $Newstoter. Now, let's get that brother paid. How about that? Okay.
Ooh, fires.
How about that? Another thing, you all love to move the goalposts when it comes to these conversations. And that's what you Democratic shields do all the time. That's what the whole thing about y'all trying to ease into reparations to let us know you niggas not getting it. Y'all don't get to say what we gonna get because we not asking, we are demanding. Number one. Again, this isn't about reparations, but that's how y'all move the goalpost of the conversation. Just like when we're talking about Kamala Harris not being black, what did y'all do? You moved the goalpost of the conversation so we could talk about who Janet been sleeping with and who Janet been marrying and who the non-blacks that Janet. That's neither here nor there. Ain't nobody worrying about who's in Janet's bed, just like we ain't worrying about who's in Kamala's bed. That's not the point of the conversation of this room tonight. But there y'all go, moving the goalposts. Why? Because you can't stay on topic. Because staying on topic is too much like getting to the bottom of the reel, and y'all don't like to keep it real. You like to keep it fake, and you like to keep it funky fake. Then you went and delved into disrespect, and it was highly disrespectful while you turned around and tried to say, well, I just want you to know I was being respectful, so I expect everybody else to be respectful. No, I mean it with all the disrespect, and I'm being nice because Total don't like no cussing in his room when you clowns, and that's a nice word. I'm being, nice when I call you a clown. When you come up in here and you hit us with the, well, you all, you're miseducated and you're misinformed. Those are Democratic talking points. Please don't play us like we don't recognize what the talking points is. We're not miseducated. We are very educated, and we are onto the Democratic grip, and you all don't like it, so you want to keep constantly saying that we're miseducated and we're misinformed to try to make us feel like we the crazy fools. No, you the fool. You the crazy fool. We don't watch 3-minute video clips, but that's what you all need to tell yourself so that you'll feel better. And as far as, okay, well, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I don't know who. Yeah, I can hear you fine. Go ahead.
Thank you, DJ. Professor, y'all do an update on y'all's phones, because I could hear Newstoter when y'all said his phone was changed. Yeah. So anyhow, when you said that you all love these talking points when you claim, well, who is paying y'all? Who is paying y'all? Because that was said earlier, and y'all love to do that too. When black folks assert their talking points, when we assert a different type of mindset from you individualistic-minded Democrat shields, then you want to say that we're Russian bots or we're getting paid. Ain't nobody paying us. Pay who? Pay where? I got my transmission messed up in my truck right now, baby. I could use some good pay. So I know that the Democrats said that they was going to stick a whole lot of money into their social media campaign. So who's paying you? Who's zooming who? Who's getting paid? Who's getting paid? Y'all are getting paid. Okay? Let's not act like we don't know y'all are getting paid, because like I said, the only time y'all show up is when you got some kind of Democrat talking thing in the title of the space, and then here y'all go. We don't see you any other time. Share some of the love. Share some of the money. That's what you need to do. Okay? You all hit us with these scare tactics more than the Republicans hit us with the scare tactics. Here comes the boogeyman. Oh, black folks. You got to stop talking about these other black immigrants and these other black people that come from other nations, because white people are taking their cues from you and it's causing harm. White folks ain't never needed black folks to give them talking points. Since when? They ain't never needed us to give them talking points. You lie. That's what y'all do. Y'all lie, and you are worse than the Republicans because you black like us and you lie. You come in this room being extra disingenuous. I want you all to get your reparations, but here's why you niggas not gonna get your reparations. Something is mentally off with you clowns. Clowns, and I'm being nice again. Because you come inside of a room trying to gaslight people who know better. You gaslight people who have woken up to the Democratic foolishness, and we're not going back to sleep. I don't care how many talking points y'all try to hit us with and keep putting out there. We're not going back to sleep. We on to the 52 fake out. We on to the game. Who cloned Tyrone? Somebody cloned y'all because they didn't clone us. We know what it is. Okay? I'm going to need y'all to stop doing that. Okay? We're not getting paid. We're not Russian bots. We are none of that. And as far as Kamala record go, you all can say the stats don't lie. Let me give you some information about the stats. Y'all act like stats don't lie. Y'all act like these people can't come out and say, well, here's Kamala's record on ABN and CNN. Actually, she brought crime down. And two things could be true at one time. She could have brought crime down, but at the same time, we've got personal individual stories of people who said, this is what happened to me, and Kamala laughed in my face as it was happening. There's another person. This is what happened to me. So if you got a myriad of people who telling their personal stories, who are y'all to turn around and thwart their stories and tell them they lying about their stories, their personal stories, by saying, here's the stats, you brought the crime rates down over here. Too bad you niggas wasn't a part of it. Something is wrong with y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and land my plane, but y'all need to chill out. Black folks is not getting Haitians attacked. Ain't nobody attacking regular black folks because black folks is talking about, y'all are not going to stop us from talking about how you all are willfully trying to eradicate us by forcing us to this full blackness, this flat blackness, and make us one big nigga. That's what y'all are trying to do. You're trying to force us to be one big nigga by stopping us from our delineation efforts by saying, you can't talk about this, you can't talk about that. We can talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about, and we're going to keep talking about it. We're going to double down on talking about it, because who are you? Who are you? You're not the boss of us. You don't get to tell us what to do. So I'm going to need y'all to all the way pull it all the way back, and I'll land my plane on that.
Oh yeah.
Scare tactics.
There you go. There go my girl Trouble there. There go my girl Trouble. Sweetie, I do not see you up in the space. If y'all see Rella, please point Rella to me because I want to go ahead and get Rella up here, but I do not see my girl Rella up in the space. Rella, if I saw you up in here, I would bring you up here in a heartbeat because I definitely want to get you back up here, but I do not see you, sweetie. If you are in the space, request the microphone, but I do not see you. Professor, do you see Rella anywhere?
She changed her name to Janet Jackson.
I don't see.
Saw that, but
Yeah,
we don't see her though.
I don't see her.
Her profile is gone or something.
Yeah.
Put an APB
She
out
put
on
up a 100. She's putting. I see her. She's putting up 100.
You see her putting up 100?
Yeah, she's putting up. Well, she can hear us. Apparently, it says speaker on there, but she's not able to speak.
What?
It's showing up as listener under mine, and she's up under tech on my screen, and tech is up under park.
And she,
For real?
She's
Let me real quick. Let me try to close my screen out again real quick and come back and see if I can see it. Give me 1 second. Because I sure don't see. I do not see up in this space. So I'm gonna try to go ahead and see if I can find her up in here, but I do not see her. Let me see.
Hey, don't worry, sister. We got an APB out on you. We looking for.
I just closed the screen out and I came back and I still don't see her up in here. So I'm not sure, brother. I don't know what it is, but I know they see you, but
her account left. She's back now. I see it. She's back now. Still under speaker.
yeah, I don't see her. I'm sorry about that, brother, but
I'm enjoying all these different takes. It's so good to hear so many different points of opinion. It's so good to hear the dialogue. So good to hear people talking about how they see things. That's the only way that we can move forward as a people. So
yeah.
I want to say shout out to everyone who's been talking. Shout out to Black Intelligence. Great words spoken from him. Shout out to Toter and leading this thing real forcefully, and I respect it all.
No doubt. Appreciate that, Park. Let me give a shout out real quick to Taylor for Cash App. Thank you, Taylor. And let me give a shout out real quick. Chosen 619 gave a super chat, and Chosen 619. I'm gonna have to read it now. Y'all know I don't do the tether stuff, but I have to go ahead and read what he put on it. He said, "This space is infested with tethers tonight. Damn." So this is not from Newstoter. This is from Chosen 619. Shout out to Chosen 619 for the donation. But this is not. I don't want people. You called us a tether. No. I don't be calling people tethers in the space. So I just want to go ahead and say that I did not say that. That was Chosen 619. I was just simply reading the actual super chat. Let me go ahead and get to Daughter of Zion. Daughter of Zion, how you doing tonight?
I'm fine. Thank you, Newstoter. I was listening off and on, but I heard mostly what everyone was saying. But I have to agree with no taxation. I just have to agree. I just wanted to say something really quick because while those two people were talking, I don't know, I forgot their names. The ones that came in to disrupt the room. I'm gonna say, I feel like no taxation because I see this in like every room. Every time there's a topic, there's like these 10 shields that come in. I say there's 10 of them, and they disrupt the room, and they're good and they're successful at it. And I say they're successful because, like Newstoter, I know you're letting everybody talk, but like I get so mad when the host let these people go on and on and on and just dominate the topic. I'm like, put them in the goo, kick them out the room. I don't want to hear their opinion. I think they get too much time to talk. We don't need their distraction right now. Right now, it's got to be about what we want to do. And I don't agree with that. It's your room, I get it, but it happens in every room, and they always get so much time and so much grace, and they shouldn't.
We say who you're talking about.
Well, Park, hold on. Mute your mic up, Park. Mute your mic up. Go ahead.
That must be one of them. I don't agree. I think they should be
I have no idea. I'm
Kick down to the goo.
Park. Mute your mic up, okay? Go ahead, daughter Zion.
No, I said what I had to say. He probably heard it, but I just don't think their opinion matters if they are against what most of the room is for. And I just don't think they should be given that time. Not at all. They're a distraction.
Well, I'm going to say this right here, and I don't feel like he was dominating the conversation because everybody pretty much went in and said, and said something to the contrary, whatever he was saying. So my thing is this right here: you can't have an echo chamber. You can't just have. I mean, you're gonna have some disagreements. You're gonna have discussions and stuff like that, which is good. We as Black people, we do need to see the other. The other side. We do need to see what other people are thinking, and of course we already know what they're thinking, but we just can't sit up here and just speak amongst ourselves. We got to hear other points of views and stuff like that. So I'm willing to give anybody, as long as you've been respectful, I'm willing to give anybody a chance to come up here and talk, and then we go ahead and we move the conversation on and stuff like that as well too. So, but I get what you're saying, but I want to go ahead. I don't want everybody, to me, it's not, if everybody's saying the exact same thing, we're always in agreement or this and that or whatever, like, how are we really, like, what's really working for us? So I want to go ahead and open things up and give people a chance to speak and, and share your opinion.
No, I agree. I'll just say one last thing.
Hey, Park, you killing me coming off the mic, bro.
Every time I try to talk, I can't even take
Yeah, I mean, really not. I mean, when you were speaking and somebody came off the mic, I would tell them to come on. We don't do that here. Go ahead, daughter Zion. I'm sorry.
See, for that reason, that's what I'm saying. Like you said, there should be another opinion. Why? I know this room is not about reparations, but if we were for reparations and somebody comes into the room and says they're not, how are they adding to that? They're not. That's my point. And I'll land. Thanks.
Thank you, daughter Zion. Hey, and I'm going to say this again, too. When people are speaking, stay on your microphone, okay? Show some decorum around here. Stay on your microphone. Black Majority State, I'm sorry because you was actually supposed to go before daughter Zion, and I skipped you, but I'm sorry. But go ahead, Black Majority State.
Okay. Appreciate it. Shout out to the space. Good space, of course. So I'll deal with the topic up there. Mark Robinson. He fooled me a couple of years ago. He talked really, really, really good talking points, seemingly, and then, things started coming out about his personal life and things of that nature. And unfortunately, it seems as though either they have credible evidence or information that kind of builds on what came out initially, or it's a huge smear job. And the question is, where is it coming from? Is it coming from the Republicans or the Democrats? When his whole team falls apart a month or so before an election, and then he's out there saying we're going to rebuild it, I don't know if that bodes well. I really haven't been following that guy because, like I said, once he kind of started going way off the deep end, I just kind of tapped out on him. So I guess the people in North Carolina will have to decide if they're going to go with him or the Democrat. Michael Eric Dyson, I don't have a whole lot on him other than, he has not been favorable to Black American lineage descendants in any way, as far as I can tell. He seems to be a product of the Democrat Party and of academia, the indoctrination of all of those things. He's likely a part of some fraternal organizations. And so, he gets what the karma is that he had coming on that point. But on the Janet part, I do want to go a little bit deeper into that part. So someone mentioned Cory Booker as well. And Cory Booker, along with Byron Allen, attempted to, and I'm sure it's still in the pipeline, attempted to rewrite 1866 civil rights legislation, which took it from a lineage-specific civil rights bill to an all lives matter bill. So that says to me, no matter what he's involved in, and along with those where he did that symposium where he was kind of educating the small hats on how to win over the Black vote and other things about that guy, very problematic. I do not trust him. And he is a
pure representative of what the Democrat Party looks like. It is anti-Black American, lineage descendant in every way. These two gentlemen in the space tonight, which I blocked, highlight the fact that we have to, where we can, get into the party and take over the party in a Black American lineage agenda way, a pro-Black American lineage agenda way, because you can see how redundant these people are. You can see how undereducated these people are, because they came into a space and they are simply reading a script that are very easy to spot Democrat talking points that we've seen on the timeline over and over and over again, and they've been disputed over and over and over and over again. It's actually utterly ridiculous and kind of disrespectful at the same time, but it just shows how ineffective they are, because they only have these scripts, and I'm going to debunk some of it here. That immigration bill that was put up, that they referenced, was a bill that was going to grant naturalization status to nearly 2 million immigrants every single year. It's 1.8 million new U.S. citizens who are going to walk into the country and instantly get full access to everything that a U.S. citizen gets. It was a horrible bill. No matter who decided to tank it, God bless those people, because they are essentially giving away U.S. citizenship to anybody and everybody who walks through the door. That is the future, unfortunately, because it is what it is. However, if there is a short-term reprieve, so be it. That was a horrible bill. If Donald Trump is responsible for that, then salute him. Someone talked about money going around. Well, the NAACP, in fact, is complaining about the fact that the Democrat Party said they're going to spend all this money, but none of it is coming to the Black organizations. And why is that? It's because the Democrat Party is all in, full swing, demographic replacement. All the money is going to go to Latino organizations and their trans, LGBTQ, feminist white organizations, because they are done with the Black vote. They literally done with the Black vote. So for two Black men to come into a space and try to steer us in the wrong direction, to try to browbeat us, to try to really talk down to us is really, really just disgusting. But the Janice situation, so this is where I have most of my man, it's a damn shame that we live in the society that we live in today. So let me say rest in peace to the elder Tito of the Jackson family that just occurred within a week. I mean, things are happening so fast that these people don't even take the time to realize and recognize that this is a woman who's grieving the loss of her elder brother, who's responsible for their entire success. That is disgusting on its face. But also, I just saw a clip that shows that Kamala, Camel Toe, whatever her name is, was intricately involved in the attack against their brother. And there's a clip showing her being interviewed about saying that if the child is the only form of testimony that we have, then that's what's going to hold up in court. So for me, and when I look at Janet coming out against her, it's personal for her and her family. And so she wants to make it very, very clear to this particular individual that you attempted to tarnish the name of my brother. You came after my brother. You were on the side of the system that was coming after my family. And so I'm going to come after you. And that's why I believe that her brother, Randy, who she said is her manager, and her came out quickly to dispel and fire, you're fired, the person who went out on their own and tried to, retract or whatever her original statement. The other thing is that the Jackson family are Choctaw and Blackfoot, which means they have native blood flowing through their veins, as do many Black American lineage, Negro, freedmen, contraband, free people of color, colored, etc. in this country, on this land. This is our country. This is our land. We need to figure out where we can take over the Democrat Party to push these clowns out, to use Trouble's word, because they're not that smart. They're really not that smart, and they have nothing to offer. That's the other sad part about it. They have absolutely nothing to offer our people, and we need to take over those positions as quickly as we can. And I'll just land with that.
All right, thank you, Black Majority State. Stephen, you had you I know you said you weren't able to raise your hand. Did you want to speak real quick?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. I want to say hi to the room. It's my first time. I've followed a lot of spaces. This is my first time ever being on the space. So I'm no shield, I'm no troll, but I've been listening to the conversation. I like what you said earlier about just taking it somewhere else, and that's where I want to do this. All right. Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I started following a few people, the FBA, the A-Dogs, the Freedmans, and stuff like that. And I think I've seen her with a few people from Chicago. Anybody here from Chicago?
New York.
New York. Okay. We ain't worried about Chicago. But then what I had, I guess, is the question. Is like I said, I follow the FBA, the A-Dogs, Freedmen, but then you got these other black identity type groups of like the Hebrew Israelites and the Moors and the 5%ers and Nation of Islam, and all of them got their ideas about black identity. Like the Hebrew Israelites, they want to be black Jews. I mean, so how do we really? I guess I'm just gonna ask some questions. Y'all can answer these right quick. Y'all go to the topics or whatever. How do you go forward with that, with all that different kind of so-called black identity?
Well, Stephen, I'll be honest. Like that's kind of probably a discussion for another night. That's something that we'd have to.
Like 2 seconds, bro. 2 seconds.
Yeah, because I don't want to get too far off the topic though.
No, I'm just say this one thing. Go look up the Office of Management Budget. We had a 2-year discussion and still discussion, and they just reneged on some things that some folks agreed or disagreed with. Office of Management Budget, OMB, look them up. But
All right. I'm gonna sit back and listen to the rest of it.
All right, no problem, Stephen. No problem. Park Avenue, go ahead and real quick, because you keep tweeting stuff out, bro. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna hip you on what it is of being a Newstoter space. In the space right here. Hold on real quick, Park Avenue, because you've been coming off the microphone a whole lot tonight, and I really don't do all that. But here it is. In a Newstoter space, when you speak, we go to the next speaker, and we get it around, and we get it around to the new speakers as well. Then we come back to the people that spoke. We don't sit up here unless you were a guest speaker and people were coming up here. There are no guest speakers in here tonight, okay? You're not a guest speaker or a host, anything like that. So we try to go ahead. We let everybody speak. Just for future reference, you can't come in, you can't dominate the conversation in the Newstoter space. I have no issue with you coming up here speaking, and you be respectful. I'll be respectful to you as well too. But I'm not going to sit up here, and we're not going to go ahead. And I don't even like it when people constantly ask one person the same question back and forth. When you got somebody else that's been waiting 10 minutes to speak as well too. So just for future reference, we go ahead. I get to you, then I get to the next person. I get to as many people as I can, because normally after 2 hours, I'm shutting the space down. So I'm gonna go a little bit longer tonight, but normally after 2 hours, everybody tell you around by 10 o'clock, the space is ending. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you get it in. But then but all that stuff with all of the little that people are attacking you and this and that or whatever. I haven't attacked you one time in this space. I have some of the stuff you said. I have had issue with it, and I've spoken. I've said something about it, but I haven't attacked you anything, and I don't think anybody in the space has attacked you personally either. Maybe your points of views or your policies or something like that they've had an issue with, but I don't think anybody in the space has attacked you as well either. So, but go ahead, Park Avenue. And Rella, sweetie, I still do not see you. I just saw you. You hit me up, but I still do not see you in the space. If y'all see Rella, Professor DJ, try to get her up here, please.
Yeah, we still looking for her.
I don't know what to do. Go ahead, though.
Go ahead, Park.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, hold on, Park.
Hold on real quick, Park. Hold on. What is it, Professor?
Yeah, I was going to say, Toda, did somebody said they saw her do like a 100. Who was that? Oh, that was you, No Tag. You said you saw her do like a 100 or something?
Yeah, but we don't see the co-host and the host. We don't see it, so we can't bring her up here.
So she could come up. So maybe she can do that.
Rella, check.
She got multiple accounts open. Yeah, Twitter understand that. That's what I'm trying to tell her. Delete the data in your app and just come right and restart your phone. Not looking at your text messages, sister. Go ahead.
Yeah, Rella, check your text messages that DJ's sending you. But go ahead, Park.
Thank you. So, one thing that I like about this space is that everybody is saying whatever they personally believe. And that's great. And I feel like if people have to say, come for me and my character, from what I've been able to say, but I don't mind to go there. What I do want to say is that regardless of if I'm in the majority of Black people's opinions or if I'm in maybe the minority, I think I'm honestly in the silent majority. Not a lot of people are loud who are talking like me. But the one side I don't want to be on is the side that would refer to any woman of color, any Black woman, as camel toe. To hear someone call a Black woman who has been elected twice and as Vice President of the United States, regardless of how you see her politically, no one should be referred to as camel toe. And that's the one side that I'm proud not to be on. But I do want to say this, is that we have a choice in November, and it doesn't matter who you support. Maybe you can tell who I'm supporting or leaning towards. But I have to say this, is that after November, the United States of America is going to be changed forever, regardless of who wins. And it can be positive or negative, and however you see it. Or maybe you believe nothing's going to change. And a lot of people do believe nothing will change. But for those who are in the camp who agree that things will be changed forever after this election, I want to say this. The reason I have been following this stuff so closely was when I remember hearing a story about severe rights in Ohio. After hearing about that, one thing, regardless of who I'm supporting or whatever else, what I've tried to do in my own career, been here for almost half of 2 decades of my career, and I just want to say that regardless of who you support, we have to make sure that the winner of this is someone who is at least not calling for harm on us. We had a candidate just recently call for bringing back stop and frisk. We all know, maybe some don't, I'm in New York, so stop and frisk brings us back to a memory. We have a candidate called for bringing that back. We have a candidate that calls for the execution of 5 innocent Black boys. We have a candidate who has been sued and found guilty of not allowing Black people to live in their property. We have a candidate who is backed by people like Laura Loomer, backed by people like Stephen Miller, other proclaimed white supremacists. We have to be very serious about this. You know what? In November, I'm not picking the person I'm going to be married to, but I'm picking the person who's going to make sure that they can provide something for my family. And when I think about family, I'm not thinking about those who disagree in my opinion. I'm not thinking about those who have 4 Black grandparents. I have 4 myself. I think about the people who look like us, who in the 50s could not use a white water fountain. I'm thinking about people who have been victims to any type of institutional.
No taxation. Your mic is unmuted.
And I just want to say,
no tax. Your mic is unmuted. Hold on 1 second, Park. Hey, no taxation. I think your mic is unmuted. No. Go ahead, Park.
I just want to say that we've got to make sure that however we go about our agenda, we got to be united on it. We might have different ways of doing it, but a great quote I like saying is that white cat, black cat, whatever catches the mice, we got to be able to make sure we get what we want accomplished. And I just don't think that calling women camel toe or referring to any kind of personal attacks like that or whatever is necessary. I think that we've got to realize that what we have. One thing I like that Malcolm X said when back in the 60s when the election was coming up then is that he said that the winner is picked by not swing state voters but black voters, because we all know how black Americans are separated in this country. Look at the certain states, for example, Georgia. The state of Georgia has about a third of Georgia is black. Look at states like in the Midwest where there are majority black, or there are close to majority black cities, such as Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Detroit, Michigan. I can go down the list. Talk about states also like North Carolina where there's a large black population. So, like Malcolm X said, the winner of the election is going to come down to black voters. I believe that wholeheartedly, because when we turn out, we can win. We showed it in 2008. We also showed it in 2016 when Hillary Clinton lost because we did not find her policies to be supportive of us. That made us not want to go out and vote, which is the right thing I think we did. Electing her was great. Not electing her was good. The point I want to make in all this is that regardless of who you think is black or not black, those things don't matter. They're not going to put any food on any of our tables, regardless of what you think about a lot of the things that we talk about. Don't put food on the table. What puts food on the table are policies. Vice President Harris has put out her policies. Former President Trump has put out his policies. And I think ultimately, outside of all this, my decision is coming down to the mere fact that if anyone's vice president comes out to the front of the camera and says to the American people, regardless of what you look like, and say, this person put themselves above the Constitution of the United States, they're not qualified, they should be disqualified. If Joe Biden in 2012 said that Barack Obama put himself above the Constitution, he's disqualified, he would not have gotten elected. Mike Pence, Donald Trump's vice president, came out in front of the cameras and said, this man put himself above the Constitution. He is not qualified to be the next president. That should put us to strike. That should put a lightly pulled down everyone's mind to remind them that we have to prevent this man from becoming president because of the things he is for, the people he surrounds himself with, and the wrong, racist, bad, and truthfully illegal mindset that he has. He doesn't look up to people who have done great things. He looks up to people who are bad. His own vice president has come out and said himself that he's the American Hitler. And those aren't the words of Kamala Harris. Those aren't the words of any quote-unquote Democratic shill or whatever. J.D. Vance, when he picked as his vice president, referred to him as America's Hitler. He didn't say that because he was going to get paid a lot to say that. He said that because he truthfully believed it. And now he's getting paid and put in a position where he can gain more power personally for saying that he doesn't believe that anymore. So we have to make sure that we put forward our black agenda. We also put forward an agenda that's going to be allow our children and our grandchildren to at least just live. And it's just sad that we have a choice right now.
All right, Park, go ahead and land it because we got some other speakers. Yeah, go ahead and land it because we got some other speakers I need to get to. We're going to be closing this out. But appreciate that, Park. Let me tell all the speakers, we're going to be closing this thing out soon. So anybody up in the speaker section, if you want to speak, raise your hand. We're not going to go much longer. I'm going to give each speaker 2 to 3 minutes because we're trying to get ready to close this space out. But thank you, Park. I'm dropping some speakers because we had some people coming up. To the co-host, don't bring any new speakers up. Keep the people that's up here. And we're going to go ahead and because like I said, we want to go ahead and close this thing out in a little bit. We still got 90-some people up in here, 100 and some odd people up in here. Who is that keep coming off their mic? Who?
Somebody named York. Somebody named York right there told him.
Okay, York, what's up? York, weren't you coming off the mic? Yeah, York. What, we got a couple people in front of you. What's up? Because your hand's not up. So what's up? Your phone messed up, York.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, what's up?
Okay. Would the family forgive me? My phone. This is like my first time
I haven't been in these spaces too long, so I don't really know hardly what to do. But I do know what's terrible is a woman running for vice president that's running around in blackface like an old Amos and Andy radio TV show with two white guys put on blackface playing Amos and Andy. That's what Kamala Harris is doing. I do know that a woman that's running for president that looks into the camera and say, I'm not going to do anything for black people. I do know that that's not cool, you know. And I do know. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Kamala Harris is very deceitful. And another thing, delineation, that is one of the best moves we have ever made, brothers and sisters. With delineation as our home base. Because with that, when that delineation started, I started seeing things more clearer, that delineation. So I'm going to land my plane here, and I thank you for listening.
All right, thank you. Let me go ahead and get to let me get to national reparations.
Hey, what's up, Newstoter? Sig One, Great King.
Hey, national, hold on, because I think York has a mic on mute. Hey, York, you have to mute your mic. Let me go ahead and okay, York, I'm going to remove you from the speaker. Okay, let me I'm removing York from the speaker, but go ahead, national.
Yeah, so you know you always got the best space. I don't always be in the space. Sometimes I be listening from YouTube and stuff, right? But you always got killer spaces. I just wanted to answer the sister that was talking about the echo chambers and speak on that real quick and some other stuff. I mean, unfortunately, in these spaces, that is what a lot of people in this movement want. They just want an echo chamber. They don't want to hear opposing points of view. And that's a point that I made. I'm like, so what are we going to do? Because we can't say with any degree of certainty that we speak for 100% of the FBA population. So we have to hear from the other FBA people who disagree with us. I say we got FBA people out here who still Pan-Africanists, who still flat black, who all whatever. And their whole thing is, fuck them. We don't care what they have to say. We know their whole thing is, yeah, forget them. We gonna figure out what we need to figure out. We'll do it without them, and we know we're the minority, and we'll become the majority over time. You know, it's grassroots, and that's all they care about. So it's sad, but I like how you play your space. So then, this is what I want to say to Brother Park. So Tamir Rice was a horrible thing. I think Tamir Rice, Ayanna Stanley Jones, was a lot of young tragedies that we had that we shouldn't have had. And guess what? None of the people that have been president since those tragedies happened have passed any law to prevent those tragedies or similar tragedies from happening. They haven't passed any law that will stop another Tamir Rice from happening, another Ayanna Stanley, all those things. And the thing of why a lot of us are going for Trump and not supporting Kamala is because, guess what? With her, we're still going to have that threat of those tragedies with the additional threat of increased tragedy by way of these immigrants and these criminal immigrants that are coming over here. Because when they start killing our kids, then what? And you're talking about having stuff for your family and food on the table. Your family ain't going to have nothing if the immigrants get to come over here and take everything. If they get all the jobs, if they get all the welfare, all the social programs and this and that. So this election, you're right, the country is going to be changed forever after this election. And if we can have a reprieve from this unfettered flood of immigrants, then that's what I'm voting for.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you, National Reparations. Let me go ahead and get to we got a couple new speakers, so I want to get to them. Let me get to Trenton, and then I want to get to Just Cakes. Go ahead, Trenton. How you doing tonight?
Hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? You hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you. How you doing?
All right. Hey man, this Janet thing, man, this is a bridge too far with these Democratic shills, man. You attacking Janet, man. I mean, the cussing out that we get from these people, okay, but now you attacking her, and this giving everybody a green light to attack her. You know what I mean? And these be the same people who say protect black women, but guess what? They attacking the black woman. And for the brother who came up talking about Trump, but he racist, he this, he that, they don't bring up the fact that Joe Biden was Strong Thurmond buddy, he was James Eastland buddy, he was Robert Byrd buddy. But all of a sudden now we keep bringing up Trump as a racist and this and that. We heard it all before, man. And after seeing what happened now in California with the reparations bill, man, like the brother said earlier, we our priority number one is the immigrants. And I was going to sit it out, but I'm in Jersey, I'm definitely not voting Democrat. Peace, brother.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm dropping down all the speakers, guys, because we're getting ready to close this out. So I'm dropping, if you speak, I'm dropping you down. It's nothing personal, but we're just trying to go ahead and we're trying to get up out of here. Let me go ahead and get to, is Just Cake still up here? Okay, Just Cakes, go ahead, sweetie. How you doing tonight?
Hey, good evening, everybody. It's another fantastic space as usual. What's that, honey?
Chicago.
That's right. So for the guy that's sitting there saying that he's gonna vote for Kamala because for his family and stuff like that, like you just stated, I'm from Chicago. When you got Venezuelans coming here, if anybody who's ever bought a house or a piece of property, you know how much the banks be all up in your financials, and these people are allowed to come here unvetted. And do under the table jobs and then qualify for mortgages. So already for the ones that's legal, for the immigrants that's legal here, I have to compete with those people. Me and my generation, me and my people, we have to compete with those people. And these millions of immigrants that they let over here, my son has to compete with those people and all the anchor babies they're gonna be dropping. Like Kamala Harris said. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do anything specifically for black people. No. So with that type of energy, I can't sit here and say I'm going to specifically vote for her. Why would I do something like that? Voting is exchange. Quid pro quo. Mommy. Something for something. Mommy. Okay? Mommy. And, Mommy.
Uh-oh, the little one trying to talk, I see.
I do it for him. I can't sit here and allow her to come in with a million immigrants to stifle out his future. So I'll land it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Just Cakes. And take care of the little one as well, too. Little one trying to get on the microphone as well, too. Let me go ahead and let me go ahead and get to let me get to Black Intelligence. Black Intelligence, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's going on, Newstoter again? I want to say shout out to you, number one, because I think that you are able to have a back and forth with someone. We ultimately we have a lot of the same goals. We may have a different approach, we may have different tactics, but we don't have to resort to name calling or we agree on different things, and there are other things we disagree on. But ultimately, we do have the same goals. And so I think I'm not really going to address, people who were calling me shills and clowns and this and that, because I know what I do in the community. It's not really about me, but I feed the homeless. There's several things I do in the community, but it's not about me. It's ultimately about what is going to be the policies coming out of this in this next presidential election. And do we have any felons in the space right now? Because
I'm sure we do. I'm sure we got some in here.
Okay. Because my whole thing is I'm about policy. I know people. I know people have their disagreements, but all I ask is rebut me with the policy. And so what I want to say is, if you do have a felony, look up the Back on Track program that Kamala Harris ran in California. And what that program did was it gave felons the opportunity to get their record expunged if they went through that program. And so when people are saying that she was a progressive DA and what she did would directly affect Black people, a lot of us know and have people who have been in the system before, and it's not cheap to get an expungement and go through that type of process. So we have to, if we're going to have unbiased conversations and back and forth, we have to acknowledge, okay, I think that was cool, or you disagree with it. But I think sometimes people are just so gung-ho on having an echo chamber or having a particular narrative that at the end of the day, legislation does have to be passed and there has to be a coming together. I know that a lot of, unfortunately, within our community, and I'm not putting this on anyone in particular, but we have a lot of Black women and that are single mothers, and I'm gonna wrap it up shortly, that are raising families and are the lead of their household. And so the fact that some people are so mad just to see a Black woman as president when we have so many Black women right now that do run successful households, I do want to say that is unfortunate. But if you care about the police brutality, well, Republicans stopped that bill back in 2020. They didn't have an alternative that would be sufficient. Look at the tax plans. She's giving out money to mothers. So I saw that beautiful baby earlier. She's giving you money. You know, rebut me with Trump's tax plan. Don't attack me, call me names. Rebut me with policy. It's not talking down to anybody. But like I said earlier, Google is free, and that's not an insult. That's all I ask. Look at your neighbor. Look, if you have people who are elderly and on Social Security, what party is actually trying to fight for that? And that's all I ask. People, honestly, do your research. We should not be one-issue voters, and I'm going to just land there. But again, shout out to you, Newstoter, because you are respectful. And we do have, ultimately, a lot of the same goals, and I'll just land there.
Hey, can I say something on that real quick?
Real quick. Oh, I'm going to say real quick because I wanted to go ahead and drop him now because I'm dropping down all of the
You can go on Trevor. He got a response to it. So, with that being said, how many people actually got an expungement from that program? And with that being said, as the person that been behind the wall, shout out to Yardsville, Boytown, Caldwell, Green Monster, all that shit. I've been in all of them. All said 309-161-C, motherfucker. They waiting for me. Come back. You know what I'm saying? That's my number. I remember that shit like it's my fucking phone. Excuse my French.
Try not to curse, man. But go ahead.
I know. I got you, bro. But yeah, you get your record expunged after 7 years, depending on the nature of the crime. You don't need no lawyer, nothing if you need that. And all Black, poor, rather communities got legal aid. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for a phone call from them right now. I'm about to if you've been behind the wall, you know what I'm saying? So don't come up here and say, hey, record did all this, that, and the third for Black people. In California, when Black California said they didn't do anything.
All right.
They didn't do nothing, but
Let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and get to Duncan, and then I'm gonna get to trouble and no taxation and Black majority state because I'm trying to close this out. But go ahead, Duncan, real quick.
Yeah, I'm still speaking to the title of the room. And I don't want to sound like I would just say something that everybody already knows. But Kamala Harris' mother is Brahmin. And I wanted to say something to the guy right when he said it. See, now I kind of sound out of place because it's so late. That's why I was just trying to interject. Yeah, I was like, well, her mother is Brahmin. And he said, well, you can be Indian and Black. Well, it's so many different castes of Indians. You have the Dravidians, you have the Brahmins. You know, the Dravidians on the bottom, Brahmins on top. And the Brahmins are Aryan. And so her mother is an Aryan. Now her father comes from the slave master caste or social group in Jamaica. And a lot of times people say stuff and there's no pushback. And I never get it. There's no pushback. Like, why not give pushback when somebody say she can be Indian and black? Now, that's just like you can say you could be South Africans are black. Well, Elon Musk, he's a South African. They accept white South Africans in South Africa, right? They accept white South Africans in South Africa, and they don't look at us as Africans, right? Because we're not. But I'm just saying that it should be some type of pushback on that. And that was kind of a bogus statement we made. Now, as far as me voting for Kamala Harris, it'll be a cold day in hell. I hope that's not a cuss word. I thought hell is a lightweight type of word. But, no, I think it's kind of derogatory, degrading me trying to say that I'm a one-issue voter, right? I'm a voter that has an issue that's a deal breaker. And that's what Trump, come on. I have a deal breaker issue, and reparations is my deal breaker issue. If they can't support that, I don't support them. They don't call people who want climate change one issue voters. They talk about global warming and all that type of stuff. They're not one issue voters. Feminists they vote based off gender and identity politics. They don't call them one issue voters. So, it's other things I would like, but it's just something called having a backbone. I'm not going to come up out there. And that's just I'm not forcing that on nobody. I don't speak for nobody. That's just the way I feel. That's the way I stand on.
All right. Thank you, Duncan. We got to move on, but I appreciate you. Let me go ahead and get to and Coach CP, I'll let you up here real quick, but let me go ahead and get to you, and then we got to go ahead and get to the other speakers, and we're going to close this thing out. But real quick, Coach CP, how you doing tonight?
Hey, I just wanted to get up here. Appreciate the space. I put a link in the chat. Biden-Harris administration signed over Social Security to non-American citizens in May of 2022. So somebody want to bring up Social Security. It's non-citizens, not even in this country, get Social Security, where our ancestors, when FDR created the Social Security Administration, could not get the benefit of Social Security, even though it was coming out of their paychecks and unemployment insurance for over 2 decades. So, and I don't want any men biologically participating in competitive athletics or sports against my nieces and my daughter. Fuck that. Speak on peace.
Hey, language though, Coach. Language. Hey, everybody, don't drop the F-bombs up here. Don't drop the MFs. Don't drop any of that. Don't do that because this is streaming on YouTube. Let me go ahead and get to Trouble. Trouble, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter. So, real quick, the Janet Backlash to me is something that's manufactured because what Janet said was she was told A, B, and C. She heard A, B, and C. She didn't make a statement saying that she knew these things were fact. They asked her a question. She spoke on what she was told. So, for people to come out and have this backlash that they did towards her, to me, it's manufactured. So when you look at how all of the Democrats straight attacked her, to me, that's some anti-Black rhetoric, even from the Black folks. Y'all are anti-Black, and thank God for 2024 for revealing who all comes up against us, and it's mainly the Democratic parties and the Black shields who shield for them. So I thank you all for revealing yourselves and let us know off the bat who we can't trust. As far as Michael E. Dyson, I used to revere the brother for a long time because he was always so articulate. I love to hear him speak. I really did love the brother. He's been doing a little bit of tap dancing right about now. But I must maintain at the same time, I would never believe a white woman over a brother. The brother said that this is what it was, and I'm going to take that brother's word for it because white women have historically lied on our black men. They always try to pretend like somebody want them, and everybody run out there like somebody want. Nobody want Nancy face ugly homes. Don't nobody want her. Ain't nobody checking for her. Michael Eric Dyson is not checking for her. She lied. So I'll never believe a white woman over the brother. Brother said he did it. Mama said his name, Mike. I'm believing it. Okay? And that's where I'm at with that. Michael Robinson, whole clown. Mark Robinson, whole clown. Would never vote for him. Now, when it comes to who's causing harm,
most people know in these spaces that I don't like either parties. And so I would love for black folks to finally get to a place, even you Democratic shills who's shilling hard. I know y'all get the bag, but be honest at some point in time with yourself that neither party is for us. Neither parties are having policies that are speaking for us to us. They're just not. And it's irritating that you all can't even be honest about that because y'all get in the bag. So who cares? On your end, you don't care. You care about your own individual self. So for those of us who are collectivists, that's why we have a problem with it because most of us are real enough to recognize that neither party have our best interests at heart. The Republicans, sure, they're going to make sure the rich stay rich and hell. Even poor whites aren't going to get anything from the Republicans. But we can see the Republicans coming. They're not lying about it. The Democrats smile on our face, and you're lying about it. You want us to believe that you have our backs, and we know that you have our backs way back. And if you do have our backs, you got a knife standing at the back of our backs. And you've been proving it. It's been proven. You've shown us over time and time again. Yep, the Republicans are going to get in there. They're going to change the nature of the courts. They're going to do some foolishness when it comes to the police. But guess what? The Democrats have been inside the houses and the Senate when Republicans have been running things, and it's not like they stopped it. The Democrats didn't stop it. So why y'all want us to keep looking at the Democrats like they saviors of black people? They are not, because they never tried to stop any of the harm that the Republicans were causing, and they could have, but they didn't. When it comes to that false fake police bill, you all keep speaking about that the Republicans didn't. Be real with yourself. If the Democrats hadn't added all of that pork stuff to it, if they hadn't added all of those add-ons to that bill, it would have went through. And that's what was stated when they was talking about the bill, because the Republicans was on board with the bill, the police reform bill at that time. But the Democrats added a bunch of stuff that they wasn't with it on here. So let's be real about that. When it comes to the Democrats, they cause us harm because, look, they're trying to bring all of these migrants in. They're trying to force us to be one big black Negro when it comes to all of the other black nations. Why? And then they're taking, what happens with that is you are utilizing the things that our people fought for on this land, and you're taking it from us to give to other people, and you're using our name to do it. And you're telling us that we should eat that SHIT and be happy about it. We should be quiet about it. And when we speak about it, we're being xenophobic, we're being racist, we're being divisive, because we're speaking on the harms that you are causing us. You all like your stats, you all like your figures, but when they show you the figures of how immigrants have overwhelmingly and have always caused harm, specifically to the black community, because that's where y'all were dropping them off at, you all refuse to look at those stats as if they're word. Now all of a sudden you don't want to believe those stats, but you want us to believe your stats. You talk about the crime and the stats that come with how crime has went down under Kamala's term, but we all know that not all reports are reported in, and they only need a certain percentage of reports in to say this is what the crime stat is, and it's erroneous every single time. And that goes along with what I just said. You don't believe the stats when it comes from the other side. That's disingenuous. So again, be real with yourself and at least admit that neither party is for us. I'm tired of y'all trying to make it seem like the Republicans are for us or against us, when the Democrats, in their essence, with their policies are going to cause just as much harm. What is more dangerous than causing ethnocide to the Black American community through migrants and blackness? There is nothing else that the Republicans can do that's more dangerous than that. And I'll land my plane.
Thank you, Trouble. Let me give a shout out to the Coach TP for his contribution on Cash App. DJ's got the late night space, guys, so that's going to be starting up in just a second. He's got the late night space. Rella, sweetie, I'm sorry we could not see you in this space. I am sorry. I'm going to get no taxation, and I'm going to get Black Majority State. Like I say, this will probably be the only space for the week because we got Hurricane coming on Thursday, so I'm not entirely sure exactly what's going to be what, but definitely we will definitely try to be back next week as much as possible. Let me go ahead and get the no taxation.
You can let Black go back, go first.
Okay, Black, you got it.
Okay, I appreciate that, Miss No Taxation, Newstoter, of course. So, and initially I was going to come up to refute that camel toe thing, and I still may do that a little bit. So let me say this: my name's not Willie Brown, my name's not Montel Williams, but I have experience in that industry. And when you have someone who is a stair climber, who's climbing the stairs of politics and entertainment, it is what it is. It's very, very clear to understand who and what this person was. So I don't have a problem with using that terminology to describe a person like that. I want to shout out Baby Sister. I put it in the purple pill. It happens to be a Dan Calloway video, although it's not his video. It's just on his page. But it is a thorough breakdown of the behind-the-scenes workings of Kamala, her family, her mother, and their connection to socialist, Marxist ideology and organizations. And it actually shows her rise politically and how her campaigns were funded specifically by these organizations. So if you really want to have that level of conversation, I welcome that. But to just regurgitate Democrat talking points, I think is kind of insane and is very elementary at this point. It is very likely that Kamala Harris is going to win this election, and that is the saddest part of all of it, because we keep being wrapped up in red versus blue politics. When people say policy over party, well, what is the policy? Where is her policy? People have been asking for it, begging for it, and yet and still, even when she puts out policy, it's always all tides are supposed to lift all boats. But the reality of it is that Black American lineage descendants have an anchor wrapped around our throats, and it's been there for 500 years. And she is not doing anything to remove that anchor while everybody comes into the country and their boats are lifted. We keep going further and further and further underwater because their boats are lifting and the tide is going up, and we keep sinking further and further and further and further. So I don't respect vote blue no matter who people. I don't respect vote red no matter what they said, people. And I'll just end with that.
All right. Thank you, Black. Let me give a shout out real quick to Arthur. Arthur, thank you for your contribution on Cash App. Let me go ahead and get the no taxation.
Well, I'm going to say this because I feel like it needs to be said again. For the people who don't frequent Newstoter rooms, it will be the first time they hear it. And for those that are in the village and in the family and the ones that we surround ourselves with in love and happiness and peace, you all have heard this before. I told y'all that it was going to be a bumpy ride. I told y'all to buckle up. I said it in 2023, remember? What I didn't see was the coup that the Democrats pulled. But you have to expect to stunt on both sides of the aisle. That's what politics is about. So you just never really know. Now, having said that, we talked about persuasion in one of the spaces and the research that I did years ago in pursuit of my master's. And I said then, there are certain things that you cannot persuade people to do, which is who to vote for. That's the first on the list. You cannot persuade people. So when these people come into the rooms and try to tell you how wonderful their party is, how great it would be if you voted for their candidate, they don't know the research that I gave y'all. Whoever you vote for is whoever you vote for. Your vote is yours, and it's a private vote. You don't owe nobody any explanation for who you vote for. Here. See, that was the point of voting, okay? That's why it's private. So when people come and tell you or ask you who you're going to vote for, You tell them it's none of their business, and then talk about the weather, because it's a personal decision that you make when you vote. And it's going to get worse before it gets better. You're going to hear more and more of what you heard this evening. We were supposed to be talking about Janet in particular. I didn't care nothing about what Michael Eric Dyson and Mark Robinson. I didn't care about that. But Janet, that's a big deal to me. So I wanted to hear more of that kind of conversation. But you see, it got derailed. And this is what they come to do this time every 4 years. Every 4 years. And the money that's being spent on ads and influencing people to vote is on the internet. It's on the internet. Each candidate is spending $1 billion. So that should tell you there's a lot of money up there. They just don't want us to have it. And Trouble told you exactly what the bottom line is. And I hope you heard her. She said the most important and the most dangerous thing that is facing us today is the ethnocide and the replacement of us. And that has nothing to do with our vote. This started in the 70s. Remember I told you all? They started doing it in the 70s. Remember I told y'all about the 50-year loop? 1973. Count the years up. It's 2024. They've been planning this. They're on to the next 50 years while we trying to play catch up. Don't listen to people who are not focused on what you're focused on. Remember I told you how we're almost there. All we have to do is get some of those people out of the way. So we keep doing what we're doing. We have our plans. We know where we are. The majority of us, those that don't, they don't need to know. Black grassroots has always won. Always. Okay? It might take some time, but we always win. Okay? And so we have to remember what kind of people we are. We're the only people that grow up against these kind of people. Biggest war machine the world has ever seen. We fight them. Don't look at small fish swimming around in a big pond. They'll get eaten up soon. Keep your eye on the prize. And stay out of the rooms where they fuss, fight, and holler, because it's going to get real worse. Don't feed your soul and your spirit with that. That's why they're coming over here. Because they know what kind of intelligent conversations are being had over here. Word is out. They don't know what we know. So let them come on in. Maybe they'll learn a little something from us. Because you all are teachers. So when they come in here, teach. And me and the daughter of Zion will go sit in the corner and point. So you think you're going to learn? We'll place bets, daughter. We'll start making bets to see who's learning anything and who's not. Because they got 8 years. Whoever takes this office is going to take it for 8 years. Trust that. They ain't going to give it up. See? And you'll see that will be how many years of a democratic regime? That's why the two-party system has to fail. That's why. That's why. Because it can no longer be balanced. We can't balance this out anymore. It's not going to balance itself out. So some systems may stand and some systems may fail. And some they will allow to fail. So get your money up and put your nose to the grindstone. And don't listen to people that are not focused on what you're focused on. Okay? Just remember who you are and never, never, ever forget it. And I will leave it there.
All right. Thank you, No Taxation. We have, like I say, DJ has a space coming up. I know what's his name was up trying to come up here, but there's a space coming up after this one right here. So they're going to be talking about it's going to be a part 2. So definitely check out DJ Space tonight, Professor, the late night space. DJ, what time you starting that space up?
As soon as we end this one, going in, no diddy.
Okay.
Late night crew, baby. The late night crew. That's what we do.
Park, if you up in the space, they're getting ready to start that up. So go ahead and check that space out. On that note, guys, like I said, we'll
Hold on, Tony. 1 second though. And you forgot one. Now you said that guy Park, but where that other guy at Black Ignorance? Is he gonna come up in there too?
I don't know Black Intelligence. He was up in there. He may have left, but I don't see him up in here. But if they want to come up in there, I'm sure you guys will entertain them, and there should be a good discussion up in there as well too. So definitely Black Intelligence Park, if you're listening, definitely come out. Hopefully y'all get my girl Rella up in there, because I don't know what happened with Rella tonight, but we couldn't see Miss Rella like she did in the comment section. I saw, but I didn't see up in the space. So hopefully Miss Rella will stop by and swing by the late night space as well too. So we can definitely get her. Y'all can definitely get her up in Daughter Zion, sweetie. We're getting ready to close this space out. I see you requesting, but I'm getting ready to close this space out. And DJ Professor and everybody else are going to get ready to start their space up. So, like I say, guys, we'll probably be back next week. Storm coming, preparing for that and everything else as well. Hopefully, it won't be a Category 3 slamming into us. I'm definitely hoping that will not be the case, but. Like I say, DJ should be having some spaces going on, him and Professor during the time and whatever. So I'll definitely communicate with them and let you guys know how we're doing down here in Tallahassee. So thank you to everybody for coming out to the space tonight, supporting as always. And we will see you guys hopefully next week. Like I say, and tonight, Professor, DJ, they got their space going on. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this down so they can start that one up. Peace. And thank you guys once again for coming through.
Stay safe, man. Stay safe, Toter.
Definitely gonna try. Definitely. Shout out to everybody. Thank y'all again.